Let me mute. I apologize. I thought I was on mute. Go ahead.
You have in the news right now a son of a famous rapper whose mother was 16 years old, and the guy was 18, 19, 20, right? When he impregnated the guy's mother. You know who I'm talking about? I don't want to mention it because I don't want a lawsuit, right?
Who
But you
is
know who
it?
I'm talking about.
If it's in the news, you can talk about who is it. It's
Okay, allegedly, Jay-Z has a son whose mother was 16 years old, allegedly, right? And okay, so now how can I say the world looks differently? At the same time, we have Foxy Brown. You know, ain't no in like the one I got, nobody ever me better. When she did those rhymes, she was 15 years old, right? I'm talking about New York City, right? New York City was known for, you know, how you got child killers in Africa? Well, New York City is known
a
for
molestation.
molestation and
Mike
prostitution.
Tyson talks about it a lot.
New York City is known for this. The issue now is that some courageous people, elder people, right? They let us know what might happen if you go because you got no protection. Now, the issue with the victimization is when the victim is uh, he is victimizing or she is victimizing themselves because they got warning and they know they got no protection. Now, Cuban is on the line. Me and Cuban, we know peoples in New York. So we know other people that I could not even mention their name because they never said it publicly and I could get murdered. My 60 years old. But Cuban knows a bunch of people like Ron who went to those projects. Am I right? Am I right, Cuban?
Yep.
Right? And when I told Cuban,
and it was actually the night of the Hebrew Israelite barbecue that Reggie told me about Bambatta. That's the weird shit. It was the end of the night.
And Cuban was gonna stab me, by the way. You know, he's gonna pull out his Cuban because here it is somebody like he's saying, like, are you serious, Reggie? Are you serious? You know consequences? And I was just saying, Cuban, this is the element. It wasn't just Bam, it was an element in New York. Bam himself was subject to the same thing that other people were subject to, right? It was an element in New York. It was abject poverty plus people preying on people. And sometimes the victims become victimizers. Don't you understand that? But and it was also at the same time where we was getting access to the clubs in downtown, the Leviticus, the Justines, the Palladiums, all of those. And then at the same time, there was an explosion of homosexuality throughout in the industry into the clubs that they was there. So New York was wild, right? And then you had young people in there. You had what you call chickens. I don't know what you know what chickens are, right? So you chickens were young white men who young white boys who was prostituting themselves. They were called chickens, right? All of this was in the melee of New York City. But when you get a warning, right? You get a warning, you're not a victim yet, but when you get a warning to go into places where you are not supposed to go, the victim is leading themselves. So people don't talk about the chickens in New York. Young white boys were being sexually molested
Reggie.
like on rice.
Reggie, let me ask you a question. So you follow law. You talk about law.
Yes.
In this community, you talk about law more than anybody else.
Yes.
The law of power, consent, and responsibility. A child or adolescent cannot meaningfully consent to sexual acts with an adult. This isn't just about age, it's about power imbalance. Adults hold authority, status, and psychological influence. The child or teen often seeks approval or belonging. The law recognizes that imbalance and removes the ability for an adult to claim that they agreed. Even if the young person knew better or went along, the law says you can't consent when the power dynamic is that unequal.
You're
So
correct.
we're saying that the law is saying that that child was a victim, and you're right. Hurt people, but we're talking about the beginning of the dynamic. So if
the
we're
law,
saying that at hold on, if we're saying that at 16 years old, this child went down there for whatever reason that child went down there for, is similar to telling a woman, well, if you dress provocatively, what could happen if you dress that way. That's like telling a young girl at a high school. At a high school, it's like the older guys driving back through there with the car, talking to the girl at school, like the R. Kelly story. I saw that on the documentary about him, that he used to drive back to the high school and pick up the girls from the school and this, that, and the other. And them girls knew because they would hike their skirts up and this, that, and the other.
Fantastic example.
And they was trying to blame the little girl, right? But you can't blame the little girl. But by law or by society, you can't say that she knew better. And just because this boy was acting like an adult, this, that, and the other, his age alone and Bambatta's age alone, you can't. Ron Savage could only be the victim in this situation.
Okay, so
he's the victim.
No, Brass. Okay, I agree with everything that you say. Can you tell me?
You do, and that's a great example. And Brad, sometimes you don't need to stop niggas. Like,
please stop.
No, I'm gonna get this out. All right, go ahead.
I was talking to Brass.
Go ahead, Reggie.
Brass, can you tell me the date that law was enacted?
I don't know. You above my head.
See, that's the problem. See, the problem is that during these periods, the 70s and 80s and there was an absence of the application of the law, right? So you have to tell me. So the law wasn't. Yes, I agree with. That's why I agree with everything that you said. Right now, I can go and find my yearbook, and I can show you in my high school where young Latino and Black girls were sitting on their teachers' laps, right? Right? In school, right? Right? Now, because see, I lived through this period, and so I know that law wasn't formulated. And what happened is, in these cases, is that they can only be sued. Some of these people can only be sued civilly, right? Because the statutes of limitations for the criminal component has ran out, right? Because powerful people in New York City, very powerful politicians and other people, they were involved in the chicken stuff, right? So the law
interrupted me to say this shit.
So the laws got kind of like anachronistic, right? They seem to have always applied, but they did not apply. Because while we're talking about a few men that got sexually harassed, nobody's talking about in these projects: Bronx River, Castle Hill, Soundview, Monroe, Sackburn, Bronxdale, the tens of thousands of young women, right, who were engaging in sex with older men, most of them raped, right, from the age of 14 on. Nobody wants to talk about that. So I lived through this. I lived through this environment, and I am not condoning anything. What I'm just trying to say is that we are looking at it from a more recent period, and the laws weren't being, how can I say, enacted during these time periods, and so it was fuzzy. So when
Here's
I
the
was
fact
growing
sheet,
up,
Reggie. Here's the fact sheet, though.
yes,
The age of consent for sexual relations under New York Penal Law Section 130 is 17 years. Here's a fact sheet regarding the penalties. The age of consent was previously 18 before the recodification of New York penal law, which took place in 1965,
Mhm.
and it became effective on September 1st, 1967.
Mhm.
So it went down to 17. And even
Mhm.
if the law, sometimes the law, when it's
Mhm.
being created, based off what I know and what I was taught,
Mhm.
if you committed the crime before the law, yes, legally you may not be held to it, but you actually may be the reason why they created the law morally. You know,
I
you
get
understand
that.
what I'm saying? Right. So what I'm saying
Absolutely.
is, but at the end of the day, if you agree with everything that I'm saying, then new better wouldn't apply, Reggie. If you agree
Well,
with what I'm saying, new better wouldn't even be, because I don't think at all a 16-year-old boy in the room with a grown ass, like you said, in the industry, man, may have had other acts with other children, this, that, and the other, right? If he's experienced in that way, a 16-year-old boy doesn't stand a chance in a room with a man like that. He don't have a chance in hell of making it out of that room without being victimized, whether he
uh,
knew better or not.
well, he doesn't. Here's the problem is you don't. First of all, with some of these people that we're talking about, you don't get that close to that person. It's not a one-off thing. It's a gradual thing, and during this time period, maybe as a victim,
Everybody telling your ass not to be around that shit before you get victimized.
and
And
you see it,
you know better. You seeing other motherfuckers get victimized, right?
Yeah,
you
Cause
yeah,
see
nigga,
it.
it's your
I
fault.
knew better than
It's
to
your
be
fault.
hanging around the dope dealers and shit like
I'm
that,
not
right?
talking about
Cause I
drugs.
see when the
Yeah, it's your
police
fault.
run up on the court. It's just an example. I'm sorry, it
I
don't
know,
have to
but
be a
we just
one
what?
for one.
No, but
I
I'm
know
just
it's
saying
not a
we having
one
a
for one.
molestation
I
conversation, and
understand
y'all
that
keep
it's
talking
not
about
one
drugs.
for one, Brad.
Yeah, but it's
I
two different
understand
things.
that it's
But
not a one for one.
I understand. I'm not saying you're
I
saying it's one on
understand that
one.
it's two different things. You at least gotta let
Okay,
me get my
okay,
example off. At least
okay.
gotta
Go ahead,
get
brother.
my
Go ahead,
example off,
brother. You right. Go ahead. Go
right?
ahead. Go ahead.
So we're talking about 16-year-old, right?
You got to go out and come back, Corey.
16-year-old,
You got to go out and come back, Corey.
most of them were
You
an
got to go
adult.
out and come back, Corey.
Yeah,
Your shit,
you're
your
not.
whole
All
shit
right.
fucked up. We ain't hear none of that.
Okay. So when if I show you, if I go dig up my yearbook and find these pictures of young women sitting on their teachers' laps, right, in
Please
scantily
don't,
clothes
Reggie.
Halloween, right? In my high school,
Don't do
I'm
that.
the normality is a little bit different in real time, right? And so so my whole community was victimized, right? The law just wasn't present because I just got to go back to my yearbook because when I look back at it, I was like, like on our Halloween show was the male teachers fest. These girls would be dressing up as Jane and doing all this stuff,
Oh,
and
Reggie,
so
stop, bro.
you want me to show it to you?
Please stop.
Nope.
No, I want you to. I want you to stop. I want you to
How do
stop
you want me
because
to
I
stop?
got respect for you.
You don't
Because
have to have
Reggie, you ain't.
respect for me. Okay, watch this. You don't have to have
All right,
respect
go
for
ahead.
me. What
Go
am
ahead.
I saying that's
Go ahead.
wrong? What am I
You're
saying that's
saying
wrong?
you're saying that little girls sitting on adult men's laps are whatever happens to them for that. That's what I'm hearing. If I'm hearing wrong, please
You're
stop me.
hearing
You're
wrong.
saying it's their fault. Okay,
You're
okay,
hearing
then
wrong.
correct me,
I didn't
please.
say that.
Okay, help me out. Help me out. Help me out. Help
Listen,
me
you're
out,
not my
Reggie.
friend. Don't have no respect for me. I didn't say that.
No, 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 bro.
Don't
I'm
have no goddamn
asking
respect
you.
for me.
I literally just told you that's what I'm hearing.
So I
I'm asking
corrected
you.
you.
Correct
I ain't
me.
say that
And
shit.
you're telling me I'm not your friend? What the fuck is going on? I'm
You
telling
just
you.
told me
Listen,
right now that
listen.
I
I
didn't
don't
I'm
say
know
that
what's in
shit.
the
mistaking what you're
You
listen.
a
saying.
black
Hold on,
man.
hold
Help
on.
me out,
I don't know what's in the yearbook. I don't want to see what's in the yearbook.
dude. What?
And even if it was considered normal or it was accepted in that particular area, I'ma still not leave on. Even then, it was illegal. Even then, the child still couldn't consent. And normal when it comes to abuse, simply in most cases means it's just so widespread that it's so widespread that it appears to be normal. It's like Reggie in the 50s. You know, my father tells me stories about my grandfather. You know, in the neighborhoods where they lived, there was a time when you could damn near beat your wife half to death, bro. And when the police came in, as long as the man opened the door and said, "We sorted it out and it's all good," the police would say, "Okay," and just leave, bro. So we know
it's just an anachronism.
It ain't the same thing. I still understand your point.
No. I get it. I'm just saying there's a time. What is that thing you always say, Corey, about yeah, and I get your humor, asshole. But what's that thing? What's that term you always make? I want to say Dunning-Kruger, but I could be wrong. Where you say where something is so normal. I think when Jossie brought it up too, where it's like we were talking about something that in the past that's so normal, right? That we look at it as horrific. But it was so normal at the time, or so widespread at the time. They just looked at it like, you know, this is just what. Like, I think we were talking about slavery or something. Something you were saying. We've gone so far from something scared.
You're talking about the Overton window.
The Overton window. Right. Where stuff is so crazy. So, for example, like in the Bronx. And the funny thing is, Reggie, we got somebody else in here from the South Bronx.
Window just slid off the hinges in the Bronx. I agree with that. Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
And New York, period. Go ahead.
Right. So it's like we got somebody else from the South Bronx, Reggie, that don't say none of this. And they're not as old as you, but they pretty old. And they're saying they don't know nothing about none of this. So I'm saying,
but you know, Reggie the same age as Ron Savage, though. You know that, right?
Huh?
When Reggie was telling Ron Savage this, you know they was the same age. You know him and Ron Savage went to school together. They was in the same class. Reggie and Ron Savage.
Yeah, Reggie. Hey, does Ron Savage? I got a question, Reggie. Does Ron Savage have any brothers or sisters?
Yes, he has a sister.
He has a sister. Well, I'm gonna say this based on
we got mama and daddy.
No. I'm not using it as an excuse. I'm saying,
okay.
I know Reggie might have knew what the hell was going on, and I hate to put your business out, Reggie, but I know of and read about and watched documentaries on Reggie's brothers. I'm sure some of the shit that he didn't or did or did not do during that time. Correct me if I'm speaking for you, Reggie. Some of that had to do with what his brothers in them particular projects at the time may have been advising him also or what not to do too. So I don't want to I know it's cases and gang cases. I don't want to get into all of that. Reggie, you can do that yourself if you like.
But Brass, you know the question. Oh, what? Go ahead, Reggie.
Yeah, first it starts with, this is our neighborhood, Castle Hill.
You're a little low.
This is our neighborhood, Castle Hill. This is how it starts, right? We are a different neighborhood than Bronx River, than Monroe, Soundview. We Castle Hill, right? Mm-hmm. So first of all, you leave your projects, right? You're not protected because the other projects feel the same way about people from other projects. Now you're in jeopardy just to get beat up, shot, murdered, stabbed, right? Second of all, we knew that something was going on differently in that project, right? That particular project, right? So
that's a good point, though, Reggie. Don't skate past that real quick, right? So you knew if you left out the projects, right, that you wasn't protected, right? So right. you out in these other projects, and you ain't protected. But the thing is,
also I need
the thing is, hold on, real quick. The thing is, right? You would tell somebody, look, don't go down there because you might get your ass whooped, right? I can relate to that, Reggie. I didn't grow up in the projects, but I grew up in the neighborhood, right? And when you went on the other side of town, motherfuckers told you, hey, bro, listen, bro, I know you cool with dude, right? But, bro, don't be going to them house parties and shit over there, bro. Them motherfuckers have fun on your ass and give you a pumpkin head, right?
Not true, though, in New York, because New York, you could go anywhere you want.
I'm not saying, I'm talking about my city. I'm talking about where I grew up at, fella. Understand it's not true in New York, right? I'm talking about where I grew up at, fella. Hold on. I know you're ready to jump in there and go off on me, right?
That's Tony.
But what I'm saying is, if a nigga at 16, right? Niggas told niggas, yo, don't go over there fucking with the niggas. Other 16-year-olds and 17s and 18-year-olds is the ones telling you this. It ain't grown folks ain't telling you because they don't even know you're going. You sneaking down there. So the grown folks ain't telling you not to fuck around down there, right? Because they think you out playing with the kids in the same projects or in the same neighborhood, right? But the kids, the 16s, the 17s, the 18-year-olds is telling you, don't you go down there fucking with them niggas. Them niggas ain't on the right shit. Then you skip your lolly ass on down the street, and then you come back with a pumpkin head. What the kids in the neighborhood gonna tell you, Reggie? What's all the other kids gonna say to you?
You let us down.
We told your ass. We told your ass not to go down there.
Even if you were part of a gang.
Now we got to go down there. Now you done got all of us fucked up. Because now we all got to go down there.
You have this check-in thing you have today. You can go to it isn't like how it's being described. You can go to
stop it. We're not doing it one for ones. We're not trying to do a one for one here.
Okay.
Y'all gotta stop with this shit.
Okay, hold on.
I ain't talking to nobody who say they from the Bronx, who say I'm lying about what went down in the Bronx in the 70s and 80s.
Can't say that everybody lived in a project can't leave their project to go to another project. You can't say that. It was only really hardcore gang members couldn't do that. But the general population
we use gang members. We use crews, right? And if you went to if you went to another project during the
I generally know what you're talking about, Reggie. You don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to spell it all the way out, Reggie. All the motherfuckers in here who have a piece of half a sense, they know what the fuck you talking about, Reggie. You just ain't got a half a piece of sense.
Can I say this much?
True members.
Hold on. Wait 1 sec, Tony. Hey, Corey, I'll say this much. I think I was being a little bit too.
You I ain't mad at you. You jumped out there.
Yeah. I kind of get what you're saying now. I kind of I'm
because the grown folks, you gotta get that small. The grown folks ain't telling you not to go down there fucking with them niggas because they assume your ass is in the courtyard. They assume you playing with the in the courtyard. They don't even know about what's going on down there. Only the other kids know what's going down. The other kids knows what's going down. And they the ones telling you.
Got a point. Corey's got a point.
All the other kids know better, but you don't know better. Kids know better. Reggie knew better. Reggie was the same age as this nigga. Reggie knew better. Because everybody done told Reggie. Everybody done told Reggie's ass. Don't you go over there fucking with them niggas, little Reggie.
With them, you're right.
And Reggie told us, and Reggie did his due diligence. Hold on. Reggie did his due diligence. Reggie did his due diligence and told his other fellow 16-year-olds and 15s and 17s. Look,
no, what we say here.
My uncles them told me not to go down there fucking with them niggas, y'all. And I'm gonna tell you niggas just like my uncles them told me. Don't y'all go down there fucking with them niggas.
But not every 16-year-old is as strong-minded as Reggie is, or I was, or
Well,
are you.
My point.
right.
Hold on,
Every
wait.
17-year-old is a year away from getting a bullet in his ass in Afghanistan.
I know.
But they goddamn
I
oblivious to
know.
life.
There's some kids that
But
They're 6 months away from getting a bullet in their ass in Afghanistan.
hey, Corey, I know we heard you, but listen to what Tony's gonna say.
the reason why
Now
that just
listen to Tony. Go ahead.
the reason why what I'm saying is factual is because that's why the law exists, so that niggas don't try to get young kids, don't try to do shit like that, because there are kids that could be 1 out of 1,000 that is going to do the dumb shit, and they're trying to protect those kids. They're trying to protect all kids, but like there's just some kids that are just they're not going to get it.
Because brother Corey, you know what Tony's saying that I'm finally figuring out, that bro, you had it together at 16, Corey. I got it. You had it together. Like so you don't relate to what we're saying. I get that. You had it together. Not all of us did, bro. And there's a reason why. Because you're fucking 16, bro. You're not supposed to have it all together at 16. That's all I'm saying. And when it comes to some predatory shit, bro, like, nah, bro, like them kids don't know no. That's all I'm saying, bro. You feel me?
The problem is
It's too much goddamn excuses. You niggas live off excuses. I knew better. I knew better at 16, but Jimmy Joe don't know no motherfucking better. Like that, and it's just wild as fuck to me. Because I went to school, I was 16 before. I was 17 before. Right? I was one of the most manipulative motherfuckers. When I was 16, 17, I was one of the most manipulative motherfuckers.
You were.
And most of my peers were too. Most of my peers were too.
Wait,
We was talking grown women out there.
I'm talking to my
Corey,
brother.
I was 16, I was talking grown women out there. Hold on. Wait. Real quick. Hey, Reggie, and then I go to Stu Pease. Hey, Reggie, you might not want to talk about this, right? But I'm not. This ain't no indictment on you. I just a question because I don't know. How old was Polite daughter?
Which one?
The one that got caught up in this whole. I don't.
A man and a woman is different. A man, I already said that. So, like, at least in my eyes.
Corey, this ain't
you
ever
can't do that, bro.
Why do y'all like this?
In my eyes, I can. Go ahead, though.
I'm not
defending. I'm not defending Polite. But
hold on, Cuban. I'm not even talking.
No, I'm just giving you
your question.
No, I'm just giving you context. I'm not defending him. But
I don't need context. I wasn't talking to what y'all was saying.
It wasn't his biological daughter, so I'm saying.
I wasn't talking to what y'all was saying.
I know.
I'm just asking a question. How old was Polite in that court case? How old was Polite? How old was the little girl in Polite's case? Does anybody know?
13 or 14.
I think she was about 16.
The girl that he got
14 or
right?
It was 14.
14, yeah. 14.
The girl he got locked up for was not his child. That's all I'm trying to say.
I didn't say. I just switched the girl.
Nobody
literally just switched.
That's not the point, Cuban. Just let him go.
I know it's not the point, but he said daughter. That's all. I
switched it to girl.
He switched it. He corrected himself. Don't get bogged down on shit.
Yeah, like we.
No, I'm not. But I didn't hear it because everybody's talking. I didn't know.
Right.
So that 14-year-old girl, and I'm not saying to you, Corey, because I would almost agree, but it ain't something I'll flush out live as far as that. But Reggie, if that girl, let's say someone told that girl, or let's say even the mother told that girl, say she had her predications about Polite, where she was like, this joker's a little crazy. I love him, but just you don't be in no places with him alone. And she ends up in a place alone with Polite, and then whatever happens based on the courts, he gets convicted for molesting this girl. If that was a boy, but she was told, is it the girl's fault or is it the boy's fault, or is it Polite's fault? I'm just asking you. This is just it's a simple question. Anybody else can answer. But whose fault is it in that situation?
Always the person who did the crime. It's their fault.
Right.
Even if the girl or the boy was told what could possibly happen, it's still always the predator's fault.
Yeah.
So then why are we now saying? So you're saying that it's Bambatta's.
We're talking about a 14-year-old girl compared to a 16-year-old boy.
I'm not comparing the situation. I'm not comparing the situation.
Okay. But we acting like we ain't. We acting like we ain't.
No, I'm gonna tell you why I'm saying. I'm gonna tell you why I'm saying I'm not having the same conversation. I'm trying to figure out the philosophy or the methodology that what Reggie's coming up with, because I don't want to misunderstand what he's saying.
Don't misunderstand me.
Right? No. That's why I'm trying to. This is for some level of understanding. What I'm saying is, what is at what point when we say the new? Because when you say he knew better, Reggie,
16-year-old boy, not a 14-year-old girl.
I'm not talking about. No.
You won't let me talk.
I'm
not asking. Hold on. Before you talk, Reggie, just let me finish talking. Just so I don't gotta, I'm doing shit on my computer, so I'm just coming in and out of these conversations, Pauls. So my point to you is, when we say Ron Savage at 16 knew better, right? I'm just trying to gauge. That's why I asked you the polite question. So at what point does knew better mean? So you're not saying it's Ron Savage's fault. You're not saying that Bambatta for what he allegedly did is clear. What are you physically saying in regards to that? And not Bronx and this and other. Ron Savage's case. What are you saying when you say he knew better, other than saying that it's somehow his fault for going down there? Okay, you have to be saying this.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Is his fault for going down there. You damn right.
Okay, Corey. That's what you're saying.
Reggie, I'm saying Bam is right. That's not equating to what Bam did is right.
I'm not talking about that. So Reggie, you're saying it's his fault for going down there? What happened to that boy?
No. So see, I'm since I know more.
Take your ass around the corner and get a pumpkin head.
Cuban
told you.
I'm afraid to even ask what a pumpkin head is.
From Ron went down there.
Nigga, don't even ask.
Reggie.
I don't know why y'all know the nigga
rolling and lumped up.
Can
I say something? Can I say something? I've been waiting a long time. Can I say something? At 16, at 16, children think that they're invulnerable.
Hey, Stu, I know you've been waiting a long time.
At 21, I was invulnerable.
Wait, let him finish, Stu, and then the floor will be yours. Just let him finish. Because I did ask him a question. Go ahead.
Okay. From Ron Savage's own admission, because he went down, right? It's victim syndrome or whatever the case. There's a picture with Ron, and Ron went down to Bronx River way after all of the issues. Ron comes back and Ron says, what happened was I got a fake ID, right? That made me 18 years old. I started hanging around, spamming them, right? I started hanging in the clubs. And that's how the situation grew. Bam didn't know what age I was, right? Now, so when he makes that admission, right? Now, the problem is
that get our fake ID. But go ahead, keep going. Go ahead.
Yeah, Corey, just let them.
He got a lot of sense.
Corey, is he gonna say we cutting him off? But
he got all the sense in the world until it come to putting a dick in his mouth. Then he ain't got no sense now. But all his sense went out the window. But when it comes to putting a dick in his mouth.
The two people that agree are the ones cutting each other off. Y'all.
Go ahead. No, I'm just saying. Keep going, Reggie. I'm sorry. I can't help myself sometimes. when I hear wild shit.
Corey, are you at work? Corey, are you at work?
Yeah, I'm at work. I'm always at work.
So here's the.
Y'all wouldn't be able to handle my job sites. I'm telling you, the way these white boys talk out here, the way these white boys talk out here, you niggas will tuck tail and run home, boy.
Hey, Corey, I know what you're talking about. You building America. Go ahead.
Y'all be trying to drive Reggie absolutely crazy, bro. Let the nigga finish. Please.
So thank you. So Ron makes an admission
to it.
And we all want, that's one thing on our own block. On our block, we knew where to get the fake IDs from, and we all had them, right? So we can get into the clubs to do whatever the stuff that we were doing at 16 and 15 years old, right? Mm-hmm. Well, criminal, how can I say, criminal engaged, right? Mm-hmm. We were abject poverty, right? So we would go downtown, and whether we're robbing, whether we're selling, right, selling whatever, right, we're going down to 42nd Street. And the only way we can get access to the people with the money is with a fake ID. So Ron, he gets a fake ID, right? So that allows him to continuously go to the clubs, right? So then he comes back and he says that he apologized because Bam didn't know what age he was. Now, that doesn't, now, here's the thing is, the thing is that that changes the legal landscape as to one person might thinking, and it's still his fault. It's still his fault, right? Because the person was unaged. That doesn't take you from the fault. But the other factor is it mitigates the situation because a young person wasn't being honest about his or her age, right? So there's mitigation. If there was a criminal case, it would be mitigation, right? A lot of times people don't, you should have known, but that goes into mitigation. When when Ron made the accusation that he did fake his ID to be around them, then that changes it a little bit. But my project was wild. Those projects was wild. We had people coming in and out of the penitentiary, right? Out of the penitentiary. And those people would come and use the taxes that they used in the penitentiary, right? Penitentiary now on people. So there were lots of people in my neighborhood, lots of men that were raped, anally raped, but would never say anything because fear their life, because nobody would protect them and their family, right? So our signals were up. Our signals were up, right? Like I grew up with somebody that you see in the preacher's crew. I'm not going to mention his name, but he grew up in my projects, right? And we grew up with some very dangerous people, right? To me, he wasn't dangerous. He was somebody I could talk to. I went to a funeral. He came up to me and said, "Yo, young bro, I see you on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Listen, man, this YouTube stuff, man, get a lot of people more time." And he gave me a compliment and a warning at the same time, right? So I know, look, I just know how dangerous and precarious my project was. But in this case, Ron did alter his ID to be around people that was much older.
Can I go now?
Yeah, go ahead, Stu.
Can I go now? All right. This is my 50 cent. Ignorance of the age is no excuse. A lot of people got to jail and they didn't know that the girl was 14. She said I was 18. So that don't excuse anybody. But I understand where Reggie's coming from. The second thing is this. The boy was a child. Whether we want to agree with it or not, he was a child. And as children, we don't believe that it could happen to us. So although other people are telling us, dude, be careful, he in his mind is saying that, no, this dude treat me like a friend. He would never steer me wrong, right? Unless you have other people to constantly reinforce you to behave properly, or who you had in your crew was a different kind of dude. Sometimes you get into issues that you don't really know how to maneuver into. And Bam was a big ass, grown old folk man who should have died in prison, whether or not Ron gave a bad ID or a good ID, you don't want to F children. And whether or not at that time in New York a lot of children were being molested, that's no excuse either. Because let's be honest, everybody know when them talking to these young people, they know that they're doing something wrong. Everybody, even the old man, even the guys who picking up the girls from school, know that they're doing something wrong. They know that they're doing something wrong because the society that they're living tell them that dude, you're nasty. Their friends telling them that they're nasty. Everybody, they knew, right? They knew that they're doing something shitty. But we're going to make excuse. No, we can't make any excuse. The dude should have been a little bit more sensible. Yes, I will never say no to that. But at the same time, he trusted Bam. And he was young, so he would have trusted Bam. But Bam should have died in jail. There's no excuse.
Mitigating factors, thank you, Stu. Mitigating factors don't remove, it may reduce the sentencing. It may reduce the moral aspect of it, but it won't clear them of the law. It won't clear. It won't clear. Like if you got a girl per se, or a girl shows you a fake ID. We used to work in nightclubs, so we're not working nightclubs with those parties. When you hear about these cases of girls getting in and this, that, and the other, and even the police would let us know, like, it ain't no excuse. They might look at you differently, might look at you a little lighter, but you're still you're still guilty. It's not going to remove guilt.
Could you explain what mitigate? Could you explain what mitigating factors are so everyone knows? Because that's a great point you made. Yeah. Could you explain what mitigating factors are? If we're live, if not, I guess everyone knows.
No, it just makes a bad act less severe, right? It doesn't excuse it. Right. It just makes a bad act.
Doesn't excuse it.
It makes it less severe. So mitigation normally happens in court when a crime is committed. Let's say the person didn't mean to cause the harm. A kid in my high school, he got into a fight, and it was just a fight. He wasn't a troublemaker, this, that, and the other. He was kind of defending himself, this, that, and the other. He hit a kid, and the kid went into the water fountain, the little hook on the water fountain, and that kid is paralyzed. The mitigating factor was, he wasn't trying to hurt. He wasn't trying to hurt anybody. Mental illness is sometimes a mitigating factor, meaning, sometimes a person, they take a person's intelligence into account. Now it may not recluse them from the crime. It may not say excuse them from the crime. It may not say they weren't guilty, but when they come down to sentencing, they'll say, listen, you did commit statutory rape. This child was a minor. You're an older person. You committed statutory rape. But what they will say is, but we are taking into account the fact that when you did this act with this young person, that the ID basically let you know that the person was older, but you should have known. The courts they won't get off from the crime. They'll get a less time. Sometimes
ignorance don't get you off.
Sometimes first time offenders is a mitigating factor in law. If it's the first time,
ignorance of the law is no excuse.
The reason why I wanted you to explain it is no excuse. The reason why I wanted Brass to explain that though is because Corey, what I'm telling you is I tell my little bullshit that I was doing at 16.
You gotta go out and come back. Gotta go out and come back, Smalls.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you now, but we didn't hear nothing else you said.
You have to go out and come back.
What I was telling Corey is
you have to go out and come back in.
Okay.
So
what I was saying is
you have to go out and
come back.
Man, you just like fuck what we saying, just
go out. Hey, but what I want to say is I think we're having a conversation.
Okay, Smalls.
Bro, he like Smalls. You ain't making it. But I think we having the way, and maybe I'm wrong, and maybe this is the way I'm seeing it, right? But it seems like we're having a conversation in a false dichotomic way, right? It's either Ron Savage got to be a piece of shit, or Bambatta got to be a piece of shit, right? I'm having a conversation to where both of them, they both wrong. They both made bad decisions. There's no excuse for Bambatta. What he did was wrong. That was terrible. He should have been in prison, especially for all the other kids and all of the shit that he was doing, probably way younger and way before Ron Savage, right? They said this nigga was doing this shit for years and for decades, right? But the fact of the matter is, as a 16-year-old, you do bear some responsibility. You should be conducting yourself as a young adult. Is what your parents are expecting you to do, and make good decisions. You're able to go down and get your license, and drive a car and all the rest of this shit. But all of a sudden, he don't know not to put a dick in his mouth at 16. But he can go down and get his license and drive a car and all the rest of this shit. You know what I'm saying?
No, I got you, but Corey,
at some point, when you got folk, this is what I be telling. This is what I'm saying, because we always using excuses that nobody know no better. Oh, we didn't know, and we didn't have no clue, and black people didn't have a clue, and nobody never had no clue. What I'm telling y'all is, we all, every last one of y'all on this phone, every last nigga that I've ever encountered in my life, done been told, don't you go down there fucking with them niggas, because that particular group of niggas is doing this, this, and this. And if your ass get caught up in that shit, that's on your little ass. See, that's how my parents told me. Your little ass go down there fucking around. See, and I done told your motherfucking ass, you got to figure your own way out of that shit. And I'm tired of all the excuses that's getting made for everybody in this goddamn world. It's too much goddamn excuses. You 16, you're responsible enough to go down and get your license and get on the road with other folks carrying their kids to school and all the rest of this shit. Right? But you ain't responsible enough to know better whether you want to put a dick in your mouth or not. Man, y'all go sell that to somebody else, bro.
Stay right there.
At 16, I knew better at 16.
But go ahead. Stay right there. I just want to say something to you. Stay right there. So my question to you, though, would be, because you said something that maybe we can get to the heart of it. Just as this,
listen, y'all can stay with it.
When you say that well, you're saying that Ron Savage made a bad decision and Bam allegedly made a bad decision, right? I'm saying in that room,
Bam is a fucking criminal and a sicko. He's sick in the head, is what Bam is, right?
Well, right. But I'm saying,
Bam is he's a sick individual, need to be locked away, is what Bam is.
And I get that. I'm just saying in that room, in that situation, all I'm saying is that I don't care. The one with the power, the one with the authority, that's the one to me that's liable. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying I
never said he wasn't liable.
No.
I'm saying I'm not going to ignore the responsibility of that young man.
But that 16-year-old doesn't have that. No, but he doesn't. You don't. As a victim, he has no responsibility other than being a victim.
He got all type of responsibility.
He's a victim. He's just a victim.
Yeah, he is a victim, but listen, that don't mitigate him not having no responsibility.
It most certainly.
At 16,
I'm gonna use the exact word.
I have to leave. And in your eyes, it's
Corey. No, Corey. You said it don't mitigate.
Can I say this before I leave? Right?
Yeah, go ahead, Reggie.
All right. So Ron Savage's book and his memoirs, he talks
This
about
nigga has a memoir.
Yeah,
See? This nigga ain't as crazy as you're trying to make him out to be. But go ahead, Reggie.
His sister had a boyfriend, and the boyfriend was also from Bronx River. It was the boyfriend first that tried to to abuse Ron Savage.
What the hell was going on in the Bronx at this time?
That's what I'm talking about.
Shit.
So Ron had indications. Ron had indications, and I think that this happened in his house in Castle Hill, 635 Castle Hill Avenue, right? Where his sister's boyfriend came to the house, and his sister's boyfriend tried to abuse him. Now, so he had indications as to try to get him on his knees, right? He had indications that something was going on in Bronx River, right? There were more. There was more sexual activities of men, right? Now, and we just knew in my projects, we just knew that there were a lot of what you call booty bandits coming home from prison, right? And that we had to always be on our guard with close encounters with older men. We knew this. We were trained. We knew this. Not to get caught out there like that, right?
You was the same age as Ron, wasn't you, Reggie?
The same exact age. We the same exact
go ahead.
age, right?
Go ahead.
So these
you knew what? You knew what? Go ahead and start over again. You say you knew something. Go ahead.
Yeah, we had knowledge about what was going
on. No, not out of 16. Ain't no way you had no knowledge. You can't have knowledge at 16.
Oh, according to them people,
you can't know nothing at 16.
Yeah,
but
and we also had uncles and fathers, and we had older dudes that used to talk to us and tell us the game, right? Told us the game. These are not like this is not the cartoons. These are projects.
Absolutely.
I mean, we got guns. We got drugs. We got. Well, you pick your play. Right? Nobody in it. Listen, there were innocents, right? There were innocent people, but the innocent people were not the people that were on the benches that stood out late, that went to parties. The people went to parties went to
not getting fake IDs and shit. Go ahead.
They know what was happening in the Bronx. We can open up the pages and see the murders and stuff like that, right? We knew that we had to be on guard. But he did have some indication of what was going on. And then he had his friends to tell him, hey, yo, you might not want to go there. You might not want to be out there late where people are getting high and partying. You might find yourself in a situation, right? But still, yes, you could be a victim, but you also
and I'm a victim. You find yourself a victim after motherfuckers done told you, hey. You see what I'm saying? You find yourself a victim. Go ahead, because they told you. They told you it's a chance you might be a victim. They had already told you. Right. It's a chance you might be a victim. But then once you get victimized, nobody told me. I had no ability not to carry my ass down there like my uncles and them told me not to.
Hey, let me say something. Let me say something real quick, Reggie. I think
Reggie, you preaching. You preaching today, Reggie.
I think this conversation, I'm gonna log this conversation under. I don't know if this happens to everybody else in the Discord and be quick. This conversation is another conversation that lets me know that we are definitely, like, I definitely need to get out and listen to other, because these are things I always thought that this was like understood, like that a child in that situation, no matter how it plays out, that the child is the victim. I always thought that it was understood.
A child,
but now,
a young man,
I know.
A young man,
saying,
though, is a little bit different.
I consider 16. Listen, I consider him a child, and based off the little bit I've been watching since we started this show, he seems like there's something else mentally going on. I don't know if it's from that or he just a little off or whatever, but I didn't. There are things when we had these conversations sometimes where I just be like, it kind of is enlightening to me. The things that I thought were just kind of understood are actually up for debate. And I'm gonna take in this case, y'all can blame me or whatever, but I'm gonna take everybody's silence on this. That maybe y'all just don't want to talk about the subject, or that maybe y'all have. I would like to hear just from more people than just me, Reggie, and Corey, because I'm starting to think that, you know, I say this term real quick. I land my plane that I'm going crazy.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with agreeing
or,
with you,
or I'm
Brad.
losing, or I'm losing my fucking mind, or something like that.
No, you're not.
I'm
You know
sorry.
it's real
I feel like I'm
uncomfortable.
losing my mind.
It's
It's
real
not. It's
uncomfortable to
just,
agree with me.
I happen to be a person.
I was
No,
born
you're
in the
not.
Bronx. I
At the
was
same
born in the
time,
Bronx, between
Uh-oh.
dilapidated
at the same
buildings. I
time,
was
Go,
born in
Tony.
the Bronx.
You asked
Reggie,
for
let
it,
me
Brad.
talk for 1 second. Reggie, let me talk for 1 second. There is no fucking way. If you were born in the Bronx and you're hanging out with niggas, there's no way a nigga is going to get caught up in that kind of victim shit unless your brain is, unless you got psychological problems. But the people that I was, that's not going to happen. Like, almost like Corey is saying, that's not going to happen unless you are mentally sick. And that's the reason why we got laws, so that we protect those sick fucking people.
yeah. I just think that I hear what you're saying, but sometimes the circumstances that you find yourself in that you can't control, and then you walk back in your mind and you realize how you got into this situation.
Absolutely.
In my
Absolutely.
particular
You
neighborhood,
realize Unc them wasn't on no bullshit. I should have
We're
listened to
saying
Unc
the
them.
same thing.
You
We're saying the
realize
same
once you got a dick in your mouth, right? I probably should have listened to Brother Reggie now.
yeah,
Once you got a dick, but you got a dick in your mouth
hear,
at this point.
We're saying the same thing.
yeah,
We're
I hear
saying
what you're saying,
sick.
but
Both
you know,
sick.
once you
Both
get in, like every other Friday night, I drop my books from school, right, and settle myself. And at 8 o'clock, I got a knock on the door from my friends, right? So my name was Shaq. My name was Shaq. Yo, Shaq, what's going on? What's good? What's goody? Right? We going downtown. Are you coming?
Absolutely.
Right? And it will
You know
always
what they're
start
gonna do though.
the same way. We either take the train or we get into a cab, right? We get into a cab, we already know we ain't gonna pay. So we're gonna jump out the cab. I've done that like maybe 20 times. Then we downtown on 42nd
You
Street.
know what?
We part of
Go
the
ahead.
problem. We part of the problem.
Absolutely.
And we yeah, we kids, but
But
we
you
ain't
know
for
better.
no, and
Okay,
and
okay.
part of the problem. Now there's countless of girls in my neighborhood. Now these are
Man,
young
y'all
girls.
wasn't 12 and 13 now. Y'all wasn't
Stop.
12 and 13. You
Now,
talking about
Hey,
15, 16, 17.
Corey.
Not
Hey,
even
Corey.
now,
15, but
wait,
16,
I'm not even
17.
finished.
Go ahead.
Now
Go ahead, Reggie. Go ahead, Reggie.
there's countless girls in our projects, right? And they
I was
assisted.
gonna go to that. Go
They
ahead.
assisted.
Stop.
They assisted in the robberies and the murders and the stick-ups. They were set-up chicks.
Oh, don't do that, Reggie.
Right?
Reggie.
Now they're
I get what you're
victims.
saying.
They're victims. They're victims. But
They
here
don't
is a
know no better, Reggie. That's the whole
17-year-old.
point.
Well, no, but see, did it matter? No better when
I
In
get
college
I
girls
get
don't know
it.
better.
the other side.
In college girls don't know no better. 18, 19, 20. They 18,
Okay.
19, 20. They don't know no better.
I'm listening. I'm listening, Reggie.
In my block.
I'm listening, Reggie.
In our blocks.
No,
They
I'm
don't know
listening.
they don't know
I'm
no
listening.
better. At what point do you know better? You gotta be
Reggie,
25 to know better.
hey, Reggie, before you educate me on your block, Boynton
talking about my
Hill,
damn
fucking
block.
the Bronx. Like
Talking about my
I
block.
live there. Yeah, I used to live in the Bronx. So what are you talking about?
Okay. What that mean because you live there? He don't know what he talking about?
You.
I'm not saying he doesn't, but he keeps telling me I don't. I'm listening. Go ahead.
You.
I'm
I'm saying,
listening.
like, things can be true. You can live there, and what he's saying
Yeah,
can be true too. Because it don't have to be
that's a
rough.
fact.
What he's
That's a
saying,
fact. So
what he's
I'm
saying
listening.
happened around my hood. The shit
Yeah,
happens around my hood.
I'm listening.
Did you know anybody from Sex, Money, and Murder? Did you know anybody from Sex, Money, and Murder?
Are you asking me that?
He wasn't outside when
Really?
you
The girls out making money. You know what I'm saying?
I just told y'all niggas I was selling drugs at 16, but no, I wasn't outside.
He went outside back when Reggie was outside.
I wasn't outside, Corey. No, I'm not. Hey, Corey, I'm literally listening. I'm trying.
Yo, have you ever been to Hunts Point, yo?
Have I ever been to Hunters Point? I'm a fucking truck driver, nigga. I've been everywhere.
In the 80s. Have you ever been in Hunts Point?
You don't know who you're talking to.
He's
I don't
saying in
know
the
what I'm
80s.
talking.
He's talking about in the
You know
80s.
I'm going on mute. But I'm telling him, I'm asking him. I'm literally trying to listen, but he's trying to G-tech me right now. Hey, Reggie, just go on about your point.
Subculture.
Yo, you know why? You know why I could do this? You know what I could do is you could go. There's a video.
Why can you do this?
Prequel to Sex, Money, and Murder. You could go there. Prequel to Sex, Money, and Murder. I don't know. It got maybe 60, 70,000 views or something like that, and it's got at least.
Reggie, you don't have to explain. Just tell me your point.
Yeah. My point is, listen. You could go to the video. I did the video. You could go up and down the chat to see if anything that I said to my hood is wrong. You can look up there and say that anybody calling me a sucker, anybody calling me a liar.
I didn't call you that.
You could do that.
I didn't call you any of those names.
You know what you're gonna find? You're gonna find that most people, the majority of people co-sign who lived there, who knew me, who knew the people that I knew, will co-sign to let you know that what I'm saying is the truth. Right? It's the truth about
brother Reggie. Like I'm talking about people at 16 being aware of making grown people decisions. That's what I'm talking. I'm not talking. What are you talking about right now? I want to know about that.
No.
In my neighborhood, there was no such thing. There was no such thing of people making rational decisions. Right? It was no such thing.
Here. What? Oh.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on right now.
Bro, you are an example of someone making rational decisions. What the fuck are you talking about?
Listen, y'all going
I didn't curse
too
that
far.
too.
So,
Are you yelling at me? I'm trying to understand, bro. I'm really asking for clarity, and people are yelling at me.
He's giving a general example of what it was like growing up in the 80s in his particular neighborhood. Like y'all trying to relate a one for one with the way y'all live today and all of this old shit.
I'm talking about in the 80s.
Yeah,
but
that's what we talking about.
The Bronx in the 80s was a different community. And when Reggie talk about the Bronx in the 80s, you should all listen, because that was the height of the crack era. It was the height of the people were poverty stricken. Dudes were trying to make a way out. Reggie know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about the Bronx in the 80s.
Absolutely.
The Bronx in the 80s wasn't a plaything. There's no been a community like the Bronx in the 80s. When the Shutters was in the 80s, when the other people was in the 80s, when you go to a party and the light turn on and somebody get gunned down, it different situation. Reggie know what he's talking about. So I shut my ass up. But shut up and listen then. Shut up and listen.
Listen. Why are you telling me to shut up and listen when I'm literally telling you that's what I'm trying to do? Stupid, who the fuck are you talking to?
I've been on Bradhurst on 145th Street and Edgecombe Avenue, climbing up, going to school when I in 82, 83, and see from the Caribbean community, right? A head. Have you ever seen a head on the sidewalk? A human head, right? Not taped off. This is a warning to everybody, right? Yo, don't mess with these people on Bradhurst and Edgecombe.
What the fuck does this have to do with child predators?
It has something to do with the environment of the 80s.
And then and now Stu Pease is telling me to shut the fuck up and listen when I've been listening the
It
whole
had to do with the
time. I'm asking
mentality
for
of the
clarity.
community, what the community was
Yeah, if y'all
experiencing.
can't
So guess
follow,
what?
if
Young
everything
men
got to
had to
be,
grow up
be
fast in the
spelled out,
80s.
bro.
In the
This is why
80s,
I be like, man,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
hard to have a
Corey, let me say this.
conversation.
Corey,
Go
let me say
ahead.
this, Corey. In the 80s, young men had to grow up fast. That's why I understand where Reggie's coming from. Because I had to check myself back. That's why I also excuse him that young people sometimes think they're invulnerable. But let's be honest, in the 80s, it was not, I had to grow up fast. A 12-year-old in the
Absolutely.
80s couldn't be a fool. You had to grow up fast, especially in those communities where the environment was rough, where somebody said, don't go down, let me sleep.
When is a time when we could just sit back and grow? I don't get what the fuck.
Like, no, children
Hey,
know how.
let the man get his point out
Yeah,
before
yeah.
you start
Yeah, that's the
arguing.
point. Everybody keeps telling me to shut the fuck up. I'm actually listening for clarity. Can please
Go
go ahead,
ahead.
What
Steve.
Let
Reggie's trying to
Steve
say
go.
is that the environment that exists in the 80s. Let me finish speaking, please.
He's a young striker. You have to
Hey,
live up to that.
hold on, Reggie. At least let Stu Pease get his point
Yeah,
out, though.
Yeah,
I gotta
yeah.
let
Can
somebody get
someone?
their point out.
yeah.
Yeah, someone
When
talk.
Reggie heard me say that I'm a young striker, Reggie understood what that means because he grew up in the same environment. He understand that. Listen, you cannot be a fool as a child. You will end up dead or hurt. And you were taught that by all your friends in the group because that was everyday discussion what other people did wrong. He's a fool for doing that. He's stupid for doing that. So that was knocked in your head constantly, almost daily by your peers, that your actions have effect. That's how you carry yourself has effect. No, I'm not excusing Bam, none at all. Bam get 100%.
I don't think none of us is.
And none of us in here is excusing Bam. But at the same time, we're looking at a 16-year-old boy in the 1980s who was a fucking fool. Let's call him that. Because that is what Reggie think he is. He too. And that is what Concrete Corey think he is. Because we cannot excuse 16-year-old boys, especially 16-year-old black boys, don't get the same leniency. My son at 12 didn't get any leniency or any
And it's
stupid
different today,
behavior.
though.
Okay.
It's different today, though.
Are falling in the same trap. These are not for. These laws are not for like people like you that have like you guys can think straight. These are for. What age should it be? What age should it be?
Yeah, Corey, the whole time I hear we are
different arguments, my man.
just so you know, Corey, the entire time I've been on
No,
the side.
that's exactly what we're talking about. You're saying 16 is you should be. Then what age should a kid? Okay,
The legal age should be the legal age, whatever they got it at. It's fine. I'm not saying the age should be more. It probably should be less. Actually, I mean, the age should probably be. I mean, the age should probably be higher for
higher.
Rather, yeah. It probably should be higher. You know what I mean? You should be 18 probably instead of what is it now? 17 or something like that. Right?
No, minor. I'm talking about to be a minor. What age should be?
That's what I'm talking about.
So you're saying to bring it up to 18?
Yeah.
Well, that
I think you should bring it up to 18.
7 years old. It could be 8 years old as long as you were told and you know better.
I agree. That's
not. I like how y'all run off with a statement and act like you know what I'm saying. Like that's what I was saying. No, I'm talking about a 16-year-old young men, not no 7-year-old.
Up to 2 years.
I wasn't talking about a 7-year-old.
No, well, in the Bronx, everybody was getting. I mean, it was a free for all in the Bronx. So it was like. I mean,
nobody said it was right. First of all,
we had
I didn't say it was right.
Let's start there.
Not saying you said it was right.
Nobody said what Bam did was
right
anyway, right? So you shouldn't be 7. You shouldn't know better at 7. Nobody said nobody should know better at 7, 8, 10. None of that shit. But we talking about is a 16-year-old young man, not a 15-year-old, not a 14, not a 12.
What's the difference?
Not a 11. 16.
So what happens
What's the difference between 16 and 17?
So what happens at 16? What happens at 16 that didn't happen at 14? What happens at 16?
Nothing happens.
There's some kind of maturity button that gets pushed at 16.
Absolutely. At 16, if everybody is telling your ass at 16, the whole neighborhood is telling your motherfucking ass, don't go down there fucking with them niggas, and then you take your motherfucking ass around the corner and get a pumpkin head and come back around the corner with a pumpkin head, who the fuck fault is that?
The person who victimized the kid. Always.
Yeah, that's some fault too. That fault too. I never said they was that.
No, you said whose fault is it?
100%. Not the fucking kid at all.
16-year-old nigga.
No, that's
what we disagree. 16-year-old nigga who took his ass around the corner, fucking with the niggas, who came back around the corner with a pumpkin head, right? And the niggas who done it.
Nah, if it's an adult and a child, it's 100% the fault of the adult at every time. At every time.
Listen. At 16, your ass get caught doing something. They gonna charge your motherfucking ass as an adult when you 16.
Apparently, I would almost say, and I don't have an argument for you.
Gonna go to prison.
But the sad thing is, Corey, hold on. But the sad thing is, Corey, you're not wrong on that. But the sad thing is that in this particular case, it was actually the adult that did something to a 16-year-old. And that motherfucker didn't get charged. That's the part I don't understand. That's the part. That's the part that's insane to me.
I didn't say that was right.
No, why do you keep saying that, Corey? I'm not. Can we remove? Let's just. All right, I'm gonna absolve you of something.
Because we keep bringing it up. You keep bringing it up as if I'm saying something against that.
No, I'm not saying you are saying anything. I'm saying what I just did. I'm talking about the New York. I'm talking about the New York City, the NYPD at this point, and we ain't talking about a sting right now. I'm saying
the fact that it went on more than that went on is the NYPD.
No. I guess I'm making a larger point. I'm making a larger point. Wherever Reggie lived in the Bronx, because we got two people in the Bronx that said that they don't know what the hell he's talking about. Wherever Reggie lived in the Bronx was damn near Sodom and Gomorrah. Because apparently everybody was just like, and everybody knew nobody killed him. Nobody put him in a box. Nobody did nothing.
Bro, it was so much degenerate shit going on. Ain't nobody put the dope dealers in the box.
I'm not.
Ain't nobody put the niggas that's chopping niggas' heads off in the box.
How to cover our assholes or something?
Like it's nothing but a bunch of degenerate shit going on in the project.
I know, but we ain't talking about that.
What would you expect?
I know, but I'm not talking about that. Corey, there are places where there is high drug usage, high drugs being sold, and it ain't nothing like what Reggie described.
Shit, you better believe in the projects where it's high drug use. See, the thing is what Reggie keeps saying, that y'all ain't catching. What Reggie keep trying to tell y'all is that it's the young girls that be getting molested most of the time.
You wouldn't survive, bro. You wouldn't survive moving like that in the streets. Like you just wouldn't survive. It happens in the jail.
Listen, that shit go on all day because the young girls is having babies by these grown ass niggas, and that's what Reggie keeps saying. And y'all worrying about
somebody should have died.
This one nigga, a 16-year-old young man who everybody done told his ass, right?
Why you keep saying that, bro?
Because
I don't know why.
Because Reggie told his ass. Reggie can come off of mute right now and tell you that he told his ass not to go down there fucking with them niggas.
Oh no, he said the story goes. I tell you the story, which is I think this is where me and Reggie first got off probably on the wrong foot, probably before we even knew each other. But the story actually goes that Reggie and them told his brothers what was going on or what was happening, and his brothers, their solution in all their wisdom was, you could do whatever, just don't do it here.
And so Ron Savage lived where Reggie lived at, though. You understand that?
Listen,
and so Ron Savage should have stayed his ass away from around there and stayed his ass where he was protected at. Around Reggie now.
And we're not gonna catch each other. We going opposite paths, but I'm not saying
if he was 12 and he wandered down there, that'd be a different thing. but this boy is a 16-year-old young man. Can go down and get a license and drive a car down the expressway at 90 miles an hour with school buses and old folk and everything else.
I give up, Corey.
Now you can't tell him, you can't tell this same person not to go down there fucking with them niggas.
No, and then but see what you skip though is you just no.
So what's the difference between
I'm about to tell you the
same
difference.
example.
I'm about to tell you the difference.
License and the
I'm not talking about driver's license.
What's the difference between the driver's license?
I'm gonna tell you the difference because when that child, hold on, I'm gonna tell you the difference because when that child made the mistake of not listening to his friends and his people in his neighborhood, the adult was supposed to be an adult and not victimize that child. Because I would assume, hold on.
Nobody would ever disagree with that.
Corey, hold on. Even at 16 years old, a child can be told. I remember myself at 16 years old. I did a whole bunch of stuff. Like I did a whole bunch of going places you wasn't supposed to go and stealing cars and all kind of shit like that. And my story could have ended with somebody dying in the car, all kind of shit in New Jersey.
Absolutely.
But what I'm saying to you, though, wait.
You knew you shouldn't have been doing it, though. I can guarantee ain't no man on this fucking
Corey, hold on, bro.
That you gonna tell me that you knew
that
you didn't know you weren't supposed to do it
like this. So what I'm gonna say to you is this: when that 16-year-old didn't listen to his friends as a 16-year-old young man and made the decision and went against all advice from all the people around him, then the safeguard in the society, the stopgap in the society is supposed to be that predator, that adult. So when we go back to fault, it's supposed to be that adult's responsibility to then when you get this 16-year-old, you ain't supposed to victim as an adult, as a human, not black, white, or otherwise. When the adult is in the room and the child has made 9 mistakes out of 10, like he's supposed to at 16, made 9 mistakes out of 10, then it ain't supposed to end with an adult molesting a child because he made 9 mistakes out of 10. That ain't never how that's supposed to end.
I agree 100% with that. Every word you said, I agree with 100%. Every single word you said.
All right. And I already knew that. That's why I kept saying I'm not talking about right or wrong. I don't think we both got children. We both know how we feel about shit like this. I'm just saying at some point, I don't ever expect a 16-year-old to make the right choice. I'm expecting the motherfucking 70-year-old that somehow got a damn group with nothing but young boys in it. Them gangs, you know what they don't tell you about them gangs in the Bronx at that time? It was all young boys. It was all young niggas. Them spades and this, that, and the other. Those was kids.
All these, everybody out here doing everything. Shit, it's young niggas. So, I mean, y'all think it's the wild part is like, to me, it'd be kind of crazy to me because like, even like, even it's just, don't even worry about it. Don't even trip, bro. We got different
views. We got different. What I've learned in these conversations is we all got different perspectives. We all got different worldviews. Yeah. But the benefit in these conversations is this: if I respect the person before I start having the conversation, and even if they tell me some shit where I'm like, what the hell? I still, at the end of the conversation, can go back. And that's why I keep telling you, I'm not talking about right or wrong, because I know you're a father with daughters. So I already know I don't like that's an understood thing in anything that we talk about. So we're not having a right or wrong conversation. You got to understand, Corey, the first time I heard about all of this,
I was raised pretty. There was no way to make an excuse when the way I was raised. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I know if you raised in the Midwest, it wasn't nothing like the Bronx.
At some point, now you're responsible here with the way I was raised. At some point,
you wasn't raised like the Bronx, bro. You don't understand the Bronx and the 70s. The Bronx and the South.
We're saying teenagers still.
The Bronx might not have been on planet Earth.
Hold on, yeah, because y'all making the Bronx out to be like we're still talking about planet Earth, like Logic said. And if we talk about how New Yorkers are faster than everybody, and this is a dude from the Midwest is telling you, I don't give a fuck how fast you claim New York is. You feel me? Who doesn't know not to put a penis in their mouth at 16 years old?
Wait, you agree?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Hold on, before everybody start yelling. Everybody just yelling and shit. Wait a second, bro. Everybody just yelling out. 1 second. So I want to be clear. Chef, you agree with Corey and Reggie?
Yeah, I agree with him the same way you just but I agree with you also.
Right.
So it's not a either or. I think
that's a false dichotomy. That's what I was
it's
saying.
not an either or. But I'm saying if we're making the Bronx out to be not on planet Earth. If these children is living in this type of environment, then they're growing up faster. They know shit. You feel me? They know what the fuck with, what not to fuck with. They know what a crackhead is. They know what a molester is. They know they see this shit is in their environment. So you definitely, for the most part, if you would know, you will hope a person know. But the adult,
you clearly know.
Let me get this out. The adult in the situation, you dig what I'm saying, is definitely has the sole responsibility of that child's welfare on his shoulders. You dig what I'm saying? Because it is a child. And like you said, Brad, a child can make 100 a child can make 100 mistakes.
Absolutely.
But if any of those mistakes lead to an adult penis in that child's mouth, then the adult is the one that can't be excused at no cost in that.
Right.
You dig what I'm saying? So,
but then, Chef, aren't you saying so then it's subjective? What's an adult at that point? That's the point that
Bambatta is the adult at that point. Bambatta the adult. Ain't no.
Wait, I got a question though. Hold on, real quick. So now I know y'all know more about this scientific stuff than I do, right? But I'm gonna interject science into the conversation, right? So this prefrontal lobe that we be talking about, right? When we keep saying that the Bronx is on Earth and this, that, and the other. We're not also saying the reason that a 16-year-old prefrontal cortex in the Bronx still ain't developed enough for the shit for him to somehow be a responsible man.
To know not to put a dick in his mouth?
I'm not having a conversation with you. I'm not even.
What point is it? What point should the 16-year-old know not to put?
You're not even talking.
Hold on. Let's start here.
I know. Can we just stop?
Brad, sometimes you make too much sense. I'm going back on you.
Know not to put his finger in his socket no more.
Corey,
right?
Out of the 100% that did that, maybe 1%, right? 1% of them is psychologically impaired.
Yeah, I'm not talking about. I'm not talking.
What that mean? What you mean?
So this dude Ron, y'all talking about is a retard?
Stop, bro. Yeah.
You don't know.
This nigga done wrote memoirs and he was in Reggie's class. You know what I mean?
Oh, that was the slow class. Okay.
Stop, bro. Stop. Listen, all I'm saying, but answer that particular question. What I'm saying.
I got it now. It makes sense now.
His first stop. I'm not co-signing this shit. I ain't going down the road with y'all on this. But listen, if he's 16, if we're saying that the Bronx is on Earth, now Logic, being that you telling us that the Bronx is on Earth, I sure would appreciate you telling us your stance on the subject too. But
Brass, we agree with you though, Brass.
No, I know, but I'm saying if the Bronx, but I don't know if you agree right here.
Chef took me out of context. And maybe I'm the one who didn't grow up on planet Earth, but I don't think I've ever heard a thorough description of a community, and that was it. I don't think I've heard that.
So wait, but where do you fall though? Where do you fall in this conversation though?
I'm listening to y'all to the point where y'all talking past each other.
No. I'm talking about your stance, not what we're talking about. Your stance on the conversation.
Well,
did he know better?
So my initial stance, right, would absolutely resonate with what you're saying. Like I'm looking for all the ways possible to take any of that responsibility away from the child. Right? I feel as though, you gotta kids have to have room to make mistakes, right? And that their mistakes just
I would say he's a young man.
Mortal. You know what I'm saying? So I would I have a hard time feeling like his environment's so unfriendly to him to where he can't even make mistakes. You know what I'm saying? So there's that in there. And there's also I also like listening so long. I would never say it the way Corey and them are saying is it's like he got some responsibility in that. But I get what they mean by it. But to me, I wouldn't put as much weight on that portion of it as they do. But I'm hearing the sentiment.
You put no weight on it. It's just that this is the way you gotta have an argument. You can't just say something and then it be.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that just sounds good because I feel like I'm not a stupid person and I didn't listen to a lot of shit motherfuckers said.
Yeah, but you didn't. You knew.
Does that mean there's something wrong with me? Was I not mature enough to understand it, or was I, just being a child? And maybe I did.
That's why you were punished. But that's why we would be punished, though, right?
I actually, the way I see it is, I was actually fortunate. I was fortunate enough to not be in an environment where my mistakes.
You were just. That's what I was about to say.
Costly.
You were lucky to not be born in the Bronx, where your mistakes might have you end up in a van with Africa
freaky in the Bronx, though.
Yeah, they definitely a little extra freaky in the Bronx. Now that I'm 100. Now you want my 100% agreement? Something a little extra freaky going on in the Bronx. Now that's just my opinion.
Because
you want my real opinion?
Where was Mike Tyson from?
Catskill.
No, that's where he moved to with the white boy.
I thought he was from Brooklyn.
Oh, he was from Brooklyn. So if y'all listen to any interviews by Mike Tyson, he always talked about kids getting molested in the 70s and the 80s, little boys. He would always talk about that's why he said he used to have to protect himself because you could get raped. He used to talk like it sounded like something happened to him like before. It's crazy. Then he talked about his mother boyfriend and all kind of shit. So it's like,
you see this? I never seen it.
Mike Tyson talks about it numerous times.
That's a way different.
I never seen it. I gotta look. I'll go look. I never seen it.
So they is extra freaky in the Bronx. Like that ain't
but he's
something.
not from the Bronx though.
It's not a Bronx thing.
He's just saying that was character of New York.
Y'all talk about New York.
Can Mujasi please get in?
No, I wasn't saying that. I was just saying it's not a Bronx.
I don't think Mujasi wants any part of this conversation.
I
don't.
Yeah, like you trying to get. I know for a fact the one person that don't want to say anything in this conversation. I'm taking one for the team, but I know
just like he got to be waiting on Stephen Ketchum to come back around.
No, he's sitting back.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that conversation.
What the hell? I'm just anticipating because you got to remember Corey and Logic and what's the name? When me and Reggie first we had this conversation live, so I can have it now. When we first got off on the wrong foot, this is when he was describing it in the first place. The cookies on the bed, the driving around in the van and all of that. And the way he was describing it, he did this before on Sonetta. And I took it without actually talking to him like we did today. I took it the wrong way then because it seemed like a defense. He was like, we're friends. We went to school together and all this other stuff, right? I understand it now more that I've talked to him. We still don't agree, right? But I'm not, because I heard him out and talked to him about it publicly, well, to get face to internet to internet, avatar to avatar, I understand his why he at least said what he said. I don't agree, but I understand why he said it. I just don't know how we get past to. Listen. We could just probably just agree to disagree because I'm never gonna go off of saying, you know,
so Bryce, how do you teach your children? How do we teach our children if we don't lay some level of responsibility on them, like to make the right decisions, right? Even though that's what I'm saying. So at 16 years old, when my parents would let me out the house, they was letting me out the house with a certain level of understanding that they didn't taught me enough stuff that I'm going to be making the right decisions in certain instances. And when I didn't, there was consequences to it. So basically what we're saying is at 16 years old, there is responsibility laid on a 16-year-old, right? We're not saying that the overall, like Corey made a great point. We put them behind the wheel of a car at 16. They could kill babies, anything. So there is responsibility laid on 16-year-olds.
Comparing physical motor ability.
So let's change the law then.
An adult can manipulate.
That's a comparison.
Like let him finish his sentence. Let him finish his sentence.
Psychological skills are different.
Let him finish his sentence. Don't mean nothing to you.
Adult, right, can manipulate a 16-year-old, right? So the adult, at the end of the day, is the issue. But the fact that we send our kids out here with responsibility to get up with, I'm trying to think, like my parents just didn't let me out the house, and my community believed that there was certain responsibility that was laid on my shoulders at 16. Not just my household, you know what I'm saying, my parents, but the overall community also has responsibility that's laid out for different age groups also.
I agree right there. Hey, Chef.
Can I chime in with a certain point?
Give me 2 seconds. I want you to chime in on this point. Hold on, Corey. I want you to chime in on this point. I want to go to the movies real quick, right? So there was a movie, 2 seconds, take me 3 minutes, not even. Anybody ever seen that movie with Kevin Bacon where he was the security guard at the children's prison? It's where it's the great movie.
And they was molesting the little boys.
Right, even a better book, right? So the kids were being told, you know, they was roughhousing. This is New York City, funny thing. They were roughhousing this, that, and the other, and they stole a hot dog truck. I mean, not a hot dog truck, a hot dog cart, right? And they were stealing it for the hot dogs and the money and this, that, and the other, right? And they were pulling it up the steps of the subway steps. And if y'all been in New York, those are steep steps. There's a lot of them. And they ended up letting go of the cart by accident, right? Now, they stole the cart on purpose, but they let go of the cart on accident. These is like 14, 15-year-old boys, white boys. And when the cart hit the bottom of the steps, it ended up killing the guy that was chasing them for the cart. I mean, it's a cart full of hot dogs, right? So they go to prison. Now, they end up in a boys' jail or some shit like that. And in this boys' jail, the correction officers, if you want to call them that, were taking the boys down to the basement and they were molesting the boys. And this went on for 20, 30, 40 years, long time. Never got caught until one day, 2 of the boys were at a bar as an adult. They were like this, they're 30, 40, and they're still criminals at this time. They see Kevin Bacon at the restaurant. They recognize him, what he did. They kill him on the spot. And then whatever, they go to court. So I just want to question. At what point, now we all know they shouldn't have stole the cart. They were told not to. They knew better. We all know that they ended up in prison going against probably what their parents was telling them, right? But in prison, you're not supposed to be molested. It happens, right? I'm assuming in prison, but you're not supposed to be molested as a grown man or a kid. But it happened to them then. We're still saying that it's not their fault, even though they knew better not to end up in there, correct? It's not fault what happened to them in that prison
That ain't even close to.
No, this is a separate thing, Corey. Stop trying to make one conversation one thing. I'm having a different conversation. I'm trying to find. I'm trying to find.
I can't divorce that from the conversation that we're having, though.
No, I know, but Chef, to your point. Hold on, but Chef, to your point, what I'm trying to connect with what y'all saying rather than just reject.
But
so when y'all hold on, but reason and the way I'm trying to connect is we keep saying the movie called Sleepers. We keep saying that the parents, when they tell them that they know better, even when they stole the cart and they ended up killing the kid, this, that, and the other. I'm just trying to figure out at what point do you just get credit for being a child and you just gonna be doing shit? At what point do you get that?
That's not how the world works, though, yo.
Before the dick go in your mouth.
If Kevin Bacon in this scenario Kevin Bacon lives down the street at this point now, and everybody in the neighborhood know Kevin Bacon be on some gay shit. First of all, second of all, he always looking at these little boys. Everybody tell these little boys, don't go down there fucking with Kevin Bacon, because first of all, he on some gay shit, and we think he be touching little boys, right? Then these group of boys take their 16-year-old ass down there, right? Not locked up in prison. We're not talking about a group of boys locked up in prison getting taken down the basement against their will, right? That's a whole different scenario, bro. A whole different scenario.
I just said I wasn't having the same conversation. I don't know why y'all keep doing that.
Said you was trying to figure out at what point is the boys responsible.
Yes.
At what point are these boys responsible for somebody?
So at what point is Ron Savage
down the basement?
Okay, so now at what point is Ron Savage responsible?
Taking him out.
Reggie told his ass not to take your ass down the street because he be
it's a lot of weight to put on Reggie.
Okay. Another child telling another child not to go down the street.
Right, that's a whole lot of weight to put on Reggie.
He's 16. He's 16. He's 16.
Let Mujasi. He ain't said nothing the whole time. Let Mujasi get in there.
One thing, and then I'm gonna go on mute.
Okay, brother.
He said it was more than just him, though. He said it was the whole community. It was the other adults, other people.
Hold on. Let me say one thing, and then I'm gonna go on mute, bro. When I was 16, when I was 16.
Don't start with the father shit.
And they told me that this group of niggas right here, they be on some gay shit. That's all they would have had to say. They didn't have to tell me they was molesting little kids, because I wouldn't even have thought of myself as a little kid when I was 16. It would have just been a fact. It would have just been a fact that they told me these niggas be on.
Don't drop a bomb for that shit,
right?
Because you knew better.
Going down there at 16 years old.
Hey, come on, Corey.
Let me get in the conversation.
That's a little kid, because the molesting little kids is a way wilder thing. To let me know not to go down there fucking with them, right? But it wouldn't even have to get to that point. All they would have had to do is tell me that's them gay niggas down there.
Oh, now we're calling gay.
Just because
you gay don't fuck all the people that didn't have that in their life, right, Corey?
That's a good point.
I don't think that's what Corey's saying, but Corey, but
I'm just it is
just because you gay don't make you a predator, but I don't think that's what Corey's saying. But we talking to our audience. What'd you say, Tuck? Go ahead, Tuck. No, because I know how niggas will take. I know how people will take Corey words, and then it'll be a referendum on homosexuality. We ain't having that conversation.
Yeah, but it's a good point of the egregiousness of the shit niggas is doing down the street. Now you say you ain't tied it into the gang banging and all that shit though, but man,
no, I'm not.
I think I'm with Corey. I'm with Corey on this.
No, I'm sure y'all are. I just it's good to know. Go ahead, Mujasi.
I wanted to chime in after Mujasi.
Yeah, this conversation. I'm sitting up here at work and I'm practicing my deep breathing. No. You're not on speaker. I had to move the other busy area and move back into this room and get some stuff done. But this is a complicated topic. I don't agree with both sides. There's only one side that I agree with, and I disagree with Corey, disagree with Reggie. I disagree with anybody that has that sentiment. Fully disagree with it, and it's because of the work that I do, research that I have to understand around people's development and what that looks like, how people struggle with developmental pieces in their growth. So there's a couple of quick points I want to make, and I'm gonna land there because I
Hold
don't
on,
want to.
Mujasi, can I say something real quick before you make your points, please?
Go ahead.
In this situation, though, see, just talking
Please
about this
don't.
situation, no, the sentiment, I get what you're saying. Absolutely get what y'all saying. And the reason why stuff is like this is to prevent predator behavior. But how but and I agree with Corey that it's different, that it's a girl and a boy too. I know that's tough to parse through, Mujasi, but can you just, in this case, the Ron Savage part of it, I, I, it's just hard for me to say that, and this gonna sound that he a victim. It's just hard for me to say that
Right.
because
So
of all of the things that Reggie put on the table, and like Corey said, a nigga tell you they doing that down the street, you still go down the street. My
right.
goodness.
So I
Just
hear
That shit is
I hear
horrible.
that perspective,
Y'all
and
niggas don't
I'm
even.
gonna keep going. I hear that perspective. Anybody can make that argument. Just I can't land in my right mind in the work that I do and the research and the experience that I have with working with our people. Totally different story and narrative to this type of work. It could be a little baiting and triggering on one end. So just these 2 points, and I'll land and I'll be done. Bronx, not unique. No, like my brother Reggie would like to make it look like it's like somehow sitting on Neptune somewhere with this totally different environment, different factors that's creating a different breed of human existence. But that's not a unique reality. Anybody could look up Chicago and look at the Cabrini homes, or you could look at the Ida B. Wells home. You could look at where Robert Taylor Homes and where Kelly was from, and you'll see that all of these things happen in concentrated places of poverty where people struggles with developmental and being able to have strong family stabilization. Here in Minneapolis, we had the Mary T. Welcome homes, and some of the same cities and same things happen in terms of our people having inappropriate relationships with each other. So that's not unique to the Bronx. It's unique to people in certain circumstances. That's one. Two, I think there's a complicated thing that I see that we're dancing and kind of struggling with. We're understanding what and Smalls asked the question, what constitute adulthood? We proposed this question a few months ago, like when's the definitive line between when as a child and adult as adult? What we find is that is too blurry, it's too murky, and it's arbitrary. You can't say when a person knows something, when they should know and when they don't know. It doesn't exist. So there's legal identifications and legal identifications and ramifications of what a person is considered an adult. Whether they have the ability to drink, whether they have the ability to be drafted, whether they have the ability to drive a car. All of those were social conventions that follow customary pieces around certain events that happen in America. But what we're learning about human development over the last 20, let alone 30 years, is that the scientific or biological makeup of human beings don't match up with the social conventions of what we call adulthood. So what we assume a child's supposed to know, even if they're getting messages in their environment that this is what you do and don't do, doesn't always translate in what they know to do. We have a saying in the teachings that we do with our families is that it's one thing to you could know something, but to do something is something totally different. There's a difference between intellectual knowledge, experiential knowledge. That's what it breaks down to. I can learn all day how to pour concrete, watching YouTube, probably reading in the book. It's not until I get in the field with my brother Corey, put on that hat, watch them brothers doing that, practice certain things and incrementally build my skills up is where I learn how to pour concrete. And that's the same thing with children. You can tell them all day until you blue in the head, don't do this and do that. The little jokers are still going to grab the fork and try to stick it in the socket. They're still going to try to touch the iron. And it doesn't matter what age they're age. It deals everything with the neurological stage of their brain and what's around them to build that up. So some of us come from an environment where there's a lot of different family culture that supported the maturation of our brains to be able to experience certain things, and we still made some mistakes. We still fucked up. We still got in some skins where we shouldn't supposed to got in some skins. We still sold that sack. We still did what we did. Even when somebody around us was telling us we shouldn't do that. That's because there's certain things that we have to experience before we know it and understand it. Now, I'm not trying to make any excuses or justification for Ron. I don't know the guy. A little bit that I've seen and read of him, it looks like there's some delay there. But he was a victim. I'm going in position that anybody in that position, whether it's him or in a female or male, if you 14, 15, 16, there's no difference in that reality when it comes to your brain makeup, especially when it's impacted by some traumatic incidents, atrocities that may have delayed parts of your brain for being able to receive those type of lessons. These are the pieces that I sometimes think we need to listen to Fetty. He's breaking some of these neurological researchers down because these things have an impact on whether or not a person can fully understand what's happening in their environment, to interact with their environment, and guess what? Master their environment. And so to be able to prevent them from getting into these type of situations that would put them in positions of being molested, being robbed, being taken advantage of. So when we're thinking about people in these complex situations, and I'm pulling it away from Ron Savage and just thinking about people in general, we have to understand that every human being don't have the same family functioning that can help them develop their brain and develop their morality, develop their character in such a way that would allow them to interact safely with good judgment in their environment. Most people don't have that, especially if you're growing up project. It just doesn't exist. So what you end up having is a lot of developmental delayed people. This is what Tony was trying to say when he said people were stunted. I don't know what word he used, but that's a real thing. Developmental delay is a real thing. And it doesn't mean, Chef, no, it doesn't mean he was retarded. It just means that there's certain things that goes into the functioning of the brain, functioning of a normal growth of a human being that is not in place. And there's a lot of things that happen that prevent that. Could put someone in a situation like this. So there's a couple of conversations that I think we're mixing up and not being able to put in place that will explain why we're having differences in opinion. One of them, it goes back to the anchoring conversation. What qualifies a person of being adult? What qualifies a child for being a child? And I'll land there. Very subjective.
Hey, brother Majasi. Hey, God bless you and thank you.
Likewise, my brother.
I'm going on mute.
There ain't no church in the wild.
Yeah, because I never was trying to say who was an adult and who wasn't. Like clearly, in this situation, Bambatta is an adult, and Ron Savage is a minor. So I don't like that wasn't like the contention of mine. I don't know. I don't need to understand. Like you're in this day and age, right? At 21, you an adult.
Hey, brother Corey, can you hear me?
At 18,
can you hear me?
They let you go. Go ahead.
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah. Hey, brother Corey, just so you know, not saying that that's what I thought, but some people might have thought that's what you were saying by your rhetoric. Just so you know, I'm just putting it out there. But it's not what I thought. I was listening to you, and
Yo, we was
Wait.
all clear, yo. Like that's what I be talking
See,
about.
here you come
Like
from the
we
back of the
was
classroom.
all everybody
Corey.
said what they said over and
Oh my
over.
God. Hey Corey, what I was telling you is I actually agree with some of the stuff that you're saying now that I listen to it. Hey Chef, you know I love you, bro. But you be fucking shit up sometimes. I ain't gonna
I hate when we act like we ain't clear. Like
No, well, let me say something.
Oh my
when
God.
Brass laid it all out, and we said, "Yo, we agree with
I'm
what
going on
Brass
mute.
is saying." So we was all clear, yo. We was just saying that at 16, there is responsibility there. Well, I mean, I don't even want to talk
Okay,
to y'all
so
no more. If y'all
let me
saying
say something.
at 16,
Wait,
there's no
hold on, Logic.
responsibility.
Let me tell you what I was doing at 16, bro. Like, I was busy,
That shit crazy.
trying to talk them young ladies out of their panties at 16.
Hey Chef, I ain't saying none of what you saying. I was trying to
Absolutely,
give my man
Corey.
some props.
Absolutely, Corey.
And
You know,
nobody
Corey,
absolved.
I think you
Nobody
might not.
absolved the
I don't know
adult in the
what
situation.
was doing at
So okay,
16.
Everybody
so,
said
well,
that
hold
that
up.
was a piece of shit and he deserved the death penalty.
Conversation. Yo, please let me come in on the conversation. I've been
No,
quiet.
After
bro,
me,
you
yo.
gonna mess it up.
After me, because I've been waiting for a minute. So look, I think I think that one of the things that y'all can't not be saying, right? Y'all can't not be saying. Well, the moment you, I guess, imply that the child is supposed to have some kind of responsibility, like you at that point that you're taking some of the responsibility off the adult. Now y'all would say in y'all's conversation that y'all not attempting to do that, but I'm saying that you kind of can't have it both ways. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
you can. You're talking about a
No,
16-year-old.
actually, you can. No, I'm explaining to you. I don't believe that you can. You can explain how you think you
That's
can.
crazy.
I don't believe you
You
actually
already
can
explained how
be
you
saying
think.
that.
Conversation
I don't
ain't even
understand how you
real,
can
man.
say that and avoid the other side of the conversation. You know, because you certainly wouldn't say that they're both equally responsible, right?
Living in the
Logic.
real
You
world,
wouldn't say that
They're
they're
not
both
gonna let you.
equally responsible, right? Like you definitely wouldn't say that. So you would have to be saying one of them is more responsible, at least. So look, when you hold on, I'm almost finished. I'm almost finished, yo. Hold up, I'm
Hey
almost finished,
Logic.
yo. When you
Hey
said
Logic.
that,
They're
when
not gonna
you're
let you
saying
get it
that
off.
Smalls,
Go
I'm
ahead.
almost finished. Yo. When you saying that child is responsible, you're kind of deeming him. You're saying that he's prepared, right? That he has all the tools he to not be making those mistakes as a child. But he
Y'all
does.
do that
He's
and then say
responsible for
nothing
not
that
He
putting
might.
nobody
himself
said.
Somebody
in
somebody
compromising
might have told
situations.
him.
He's
Somebody might have told
responsible
him,
for
bro.
not putting himself in compromising situations. Yes,
Let
there is
me. I'm
some
almost
culpability
finished.
there.
I'm
Yeah,
almost finished.
y'all not
The
even letting me
one
finish, bro.
thought that
Let
really
me get
that I
out.
can't get out of my mind in this conversation, right? Is like when I think back to some of the decisions I made as a child and why I made them. Like, bro, it was impossible to me to have the kind of foresight to understand how some of my decisions would affect me at 40. Even if you tried to describe that shit,
Do they
like
not
I
lock
can't.
16-year-olds up?
Like a motherfucker, Chef.
Do 16-year-olds somehow, when
They
they
get
do some shit they don't
tried.
supposed to do,
Get tried.
do they say, oh no, that's just a child. He's not responsible. There is responsibility there at 16. I'm not listening to y'all. The fuck
Yeah,
is
and they
wrong
get
with
tried
y'all?
as adults, Chef.
You
They get
see?
tried as adults.
As child. He's a child. As if we talking about a 10-year-old, right? They're trying to equate it like we talking about a 10-year-old when we talking about a 16-year-old young man here.
Yeah. So tomorrow I'm gonna propose a conversation after we do our fire pit that we have a conversation on why we adultify our children so quick. Broader America do that to our children. Now black folks is doing that to our own children.
I don't
We
think
adultify
We have
No,
to
kids
though.
we
early.
do that. No,
NBA,
Mujahid,
Because we
we
have
do
to
that.
protect them.
But
It's
hold
the
on.
protection.
Can I
Thank you,
ask a
Chef.
question? Can I ask a
Chef.
question? Can I ask a question? It might be because my mic is a little too
Y'all
loud.
ain't protect y'all
No,
children?
we just ain't listening to you.
All right.
Do y'all not protect
But
y'all children? Do y'all not relay responsibility on each child for what they're responsible for? Am I the
Absolutely.
only one? And isn't it consequences when they don't adhere to that in y'all households? Like what's
Chef.
But you can't put so adulthood in a
Chef.
child that young.
When you got somebody,
molestation.
I'm literally trying to hear you out, Chef. When you got somebody who's trying to hear you out, why do you keep? Is someone else talking?
If you're trying to hear
See,
me,
I wasn't
you
even
don't
at
have to say I'm trying to hear you. All you gotta do
I'm
is
trying.
listen.
I'm trying to. Why?
If you're trying to hear me, then listen.
I'm trying to listen,
So then
but
you
someone
don't
else
have
is
to
cutting.
tell me that.
Someone else is literally cutting me off, Chef. I can't hear
That's
you.
C-Dot was trying to talk.
Oh, go ahead,
Yeah,
Z.
because this is a crazy conversation, bro. Like it's so many documentaries. Like my mama, my uncles, you know what I'm saying, my aunts, all of them from Marshall Projects. Bambatta was a molester. Was a predator. Bambatta had large. I'm talking about everybody respected Bambatta in the Bronx, especially in the Bronx. All of New York respected Bambatta, but especially he was like I won't say a god figure, but he was like a godfather of the Bronx at a certain point in time. Like dude had so much power, you know what I mean, that he was able to manipulate these kids. 10 years old is a kid. That's a child. That's a little boy or a little girl who can be easily persuaded and manipulated into doing things that they don't know that they shouldn't be doing, especially at 16. So there's no way nobody being justified and be like, oh, that 16-year-old should have knew better. No, they shouldn't. That 16-year-old would have been scared to death with somebody like Bambatta coming on to them or trying to convince them that they need to do something sexually explicit. They would have felt pressure. They would have felt like, oh, if I don't do what this nigga tell me to do, something could happen to me, bruh. Like, so why are we sitting up here acting like 16-year-olds are perfectly capable, even though science tells us that your brain ain't even fully developed until you're 25. So this child still has 9 years before they have a fully developed brain. And you telling me they can't be manipulated by somebody with power? Yes, they can. It's easy for them to do it.
Who said
Especially
that
for
they
somebody
can't be
that is a
manipulated?
predator.
Nobody said that a 16-year-old, can't be manipulated by an adult. That's why we're saying they have a responsibility not to put themselves in compromising situations with an adult.
A child?
That's not how it works.
A child has that responsibility, Chef?
Somebody,
See yourself.
My 16-year-old son should not be going to no grown man fucking apartment.
We're not talking about no random person. We're talking about a respected figure in a neighborhood.
I'm not listening to y'all. My 16-year-old son, right, has the responsibility not to take his 16-year-old ass in no grown man fucking apartment.
When Reggie and them done already told him he be on some gay shit already.
Right.
Hey man, hey, listen, hey Chef, I'm listening.
How would Reggie be able to tell somebody something like that when like I said, Bambatta was a figure. He was a large figure in the Bronx. He was not just a regular a large figure.
How y'all ain't get shot, yo?
Wait, there's that guy's parents. Does that guy's parents live in the land?
This nigga,
Is it,
hold on, let's put
is it on them at all that they left him alone to make these kind of decisions for himself? Do they share any of that?
Shoot this nigga is a problem.
Let's put some rails on the conversation.
A lot of kids. These are the projects we talking about. We're not talking. We talking about people in the projects who go outside all the time. Kids go around doing what they gonna do the whole night and night. This ain't no fucking Mayberry. Why are we talking like people
They
are just
said everybody knew he was doing it.
Especially in the projects, especially in a project like Bronx River, which is usually a close-knit community. So
But they
therefore,
said everybody knew he was doing it.
outside. Everybody didn't know nothing. That's what I'm saying. That's why I don't
That's right.
understand this weirdo frame of mind that people keep pushing, talking
But if
like
Because
everybody
he
everybody
knew
was
knew he
Bambaataa
was
was
doing
he
it,
was the ops, and they was
when
in
they
the
didn't. And
hood.
if they did know Bambaataa was a damn predator, Reggie included. If he knew Bambaataa was a predator, then he should have came to the forefront when all these niggas was coming out talking
Oh
about
shit.
Bambaataa
Let me
did
go on
something
mute.
to him.
Reggie was
why
the
ain't
same way.
nobody
Don't
do
sit up
nothing to
here
this
and try to
nigga
put
though?
all the
Reggie
That's
blame
the
on a
larger
was a
16-year
question.
child
old
too.
and then excusing all of these adults and shit
This
who
nigga
sat
he
there
got
Man, you
and
just ranting.
ignored
We
the
having a
fact
conversation.
that
hey,
the
You
nigga
just
who
ranting. We ain't having a
people
conversation.
who ignored the fact
You
that
just
this
ranting.
dude
We
was
ain't
a
having a
predator.
conversation.
This dude, everybody did know that Bambaataa
So
was at
why ain't
these gay
nobody
clubs
shooting
Okay,
him?
like
this is a
Studio 54.
soliloquy.
Everybody knew that he was at
This
these
is
gay
a
clubs
monologue.
DJing
That's a
like
good
Studio
question. Why
51.
ain't
And
nobody
guess who
shooting?
else was
Man, where's
there?
my
The
phone? I
majority.
gotta go on mute.
It's a real good question. Why ain't
When you
nobody?
wait, when you say
That's the
everybody,
$100 question.
hold on.
Talk
When
that
you
shit,
say
G Dog.
everybody knew, are you talking about everybody knew back in the 70s in the Bronx, or everybody that was in Zulu Nation knew? What do you
I
mean by
don't
that?
know. I don't know. They keep
Everybody
saying
who
that
knew
niggas knew
that
Wait,
that
let me
Bambaataa
hear what he's
Bambaataa.
saying. I
DJing
can't
All right,
hear
here
what
we
in
he.
go.
gay
What did he
clubs.
say?
Say
Every
Ron
time we
Savage.
have
Knew
this
that.
talk,
I do know Ron Savage knew. I ain't tripping on everybody. Y'all
Everybody
think
knew
you
that
know,
there were gay people
I
at
always
Studio
talk about Ron
51
Savage.
in New York. Everybody knew that. Yet they still went to them clubs. That was still one of the most poppinest club in New York. Why are we sitting up
So
here
When they
acting
knew
like
when
all
they
of
knew
these
he was
type of things?
molesting
It's
boys.
documented, like it's documentaries where you can see
Well,
who
I'm hollering.
Bambaataa was DJing for, him partying with them, dancing the whole night and a half. These are all
well, look,
weirdos.
you know
I don't know
your
what
boy.
to tell
This
you.
was during the
Okay,
transition of disco
but you
into
know,
hip
hold
hop.
on. So let me ask you this. You know that Smash. I don't know if
y'all
he
make
still is,
me
but you know
sick.
Smash was Zulu, right? So did me and Smash know that Bambaataa was a faggot pedophile? No.
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
Listen,
Nah, I didn't.
everybody
Bro, I didn't.
say
The day, bro.
no,
Listen,
no. Now you trying to get your
I can
now
tell
you
you
trying to
the
get
day.
yourself.
Listen.
You
The
know, I
day I
Listen,
always
you
talk
found
trying to
about
out,
get
Ron Savage.
yourself caught up into this. I
huh?
ain't trying to catch nobody up into this. I don't know Bambaataa from a can of fucking paint. But every time we have these conversations, people say that what he did was known in his community. That's what everybody keeps
Yeah,
saying.
that's what like the now if you talk
So
people
how
like
they
the
gonna say
Melly
it if they
Mel,
didn't know it?
if you
If
talking
they
like
knew it, why they
yeah,
ain't say nothing? That's my whole point. If all
I
these people
agree
keep
with
talking
you.
about
Good
I
everybody
question.
agree.
knew Bambaataa was like this, then
I
why
agree
y'all
with you.
niggas ain't
Like
do
these
nothing?
people
That's
do
that.
know. Listen, listen.
That's why when they have the conversation about
We
who
don't
started
know
hip
who
hop,
do what in our communities. In
that's
the
why when they
project,
that's why
you
when the
I ain't talking
taking
about you, Chef. I'm talking
no.
about the niggas who said
Chef,
they
I'm saying
knew.
no.
Chef,
So,
stop that
okay,
If
so
they
shit.
then,
knew, why they
Stop
do
that
nothing?
shit.
so then the Bronx
As a
is
matter of fact,
different.
niggas bought up to
The project
The
that
Bronx
shit
is
is
different.
a and that
The
it,
Bronx, niggas don't know
All
what's
right,
going
I'm
on,
gonna just
but
say it because
everywhere
that's
else,
y'all
why
might be
niggas
that's
know
tripping,
what
why
yo.
niggas
I
doing.
say when
so
Y'all
people
might
so
be
say
one
tripping
when
because
minute
they
I,
say
it's
I
an
something
think you
about
can
who
take
started
a
hip hop,
next
perfectly
minute
when
functioning
Chef said
kid.
everybody knew it.
when
Go ahead,
people
make
are
Y'all
sense.
can
having the
take a
I
perfectly
know what's going
functioning
on in
when
my
kid,
fucking
right?
people
community.
when the
Y'all can teach this nigga
conversation
everything
when the
about electricity.
conversation keeps
Talk about
happening
don't
about
put
who
the fork in
started
the socket, and he will still do it.
when the
And that's a normal
conversation
child.
Well, then he has he bears responsibility for that. Then Logic.
Zero.
But you
when
using the word responsible like he a child.
when the
He's going
conversation
to just be
happens about
curious.
who started hip
Something these
hop
niggas live.
Bro,
when the
Yeah, all
you
right,
saying
conversation
the
yeah,
nigga
y'all
when the
respond,
playing, y'all
you're saying it
playing.
as
conversation
if he can
happens about
stop
who started
himself
hip hop,
from
that's why
being
I look at
a
people like
child,
they
bro.
crazy
He
because y'all
can't just
arguing
stop
about who
himself from being
started
a
hip
child.
hop. But these same people that people reference about, they know who started hip hop and they
We're
know
not
this,
even
they know
talking
that.
about hip hop.
Yep.
Talking
No, I'm
about
making a
niggas
point.
getting
Just
molested.
listen to my point. I'm trying to
We
make a
talking
point.
about a
That's all I'm
grown
trying to
man
do. I'm trying
molesting
to make a point.
16-year
That's all I'm
old.
trying to do is a point. That's it. POINT, a
Hey,
point.
Cuban, I
The
think you
point that I'm
trying to
trying
be
to make is
offended,
this.
and we're not
When
offending you,
people
bro.
have the conversation about who started hip hop, and you, whoever raised the great question, these people saying everybody knew, I agree. So these same people that knew But everybody argues who started hip hop and points to those people that people make reference to about the creators of hip hop knew the fucking faggot pedophile was molesting kids. That's why I don't give a fuck about the conversation. And the next thing I want to say before I take a shower is anybody who's sitting there saying that it's just like Ron, look, Ron Savage is a fucking moron. But that doesn't justify, he's a retard. It doesn't justify him being molested. And even if he willfully went over there to do the shit, the question I ask anybody who's taking that position, if your child went at 16 and 14 years old to someone's house that was a grown person and that person turns around, molests and rapes him, is your child stupid? Is your child retarded? Are you going to have the same feelings that you have towards Ron Savage towards your child? I don't think so. You're going to cry in your tears.
Cuban. Them niggas should have known better.
Yes. Snoopy say yes. Snoopy say yes. And let me tell you why Snoopy say yes.
From going into a grown person home.
Especially if your child went over there thinking they finna get.
No, he wasn't thinking
to be a big rapper or whatever the situation may be. If your child went over there with the intention of doing something different, you keep saying that. Y'all keep saying that.
Let me say something.
You're trying to absorb the niggas who claim and they do shit. Fuck them niggas.
Let me tell you something. Can I say something, please?
The same niggas who was sitting up there laughing at Hassan Campbell when he came out with his story. There was the same niggas. None of them niggas was like, yo, Hassan, we believe you because we already do. None of them niggas. So stop spreading that bullshit ass lie. Because wasn't nobody running around talking about we already know Bambatta on some bullshit. Because everybody was still fucking with Bambatta. And Zulu Nation.
Because he had the money. He had the money. That's why. That's why. You're not overlooking that part.
The British respected the man. The British respected the Zulu Nation. They respected the fuck out of Bambatta. So therefore, of course, the kids looked up to him. So that was the entry for them kids to go over there fucking with him because they thinking they'll be a part of Zulu or they'll be a part of some type of hip hop motherfucking genre. I know this shit, dog.
Hey, bro, we
like y'all just saying random shit that don't make, and then you trying to absolve people because you saying that they claim that they already knew. If they knew, why the fuck they ain't do nothing? Fuck them niggas. What are we talking about?
I agree with that.
Fuck them. I'm not blaming no 16-year-old. I'm blaming them grown ass motherfuckers who already knew and didn't say shit, didn't do shit. You pussy, y'all some bum ass niggas. So if Reggie was a part of that and Reggie already knew,
Reggie was a little kid. Reggie was Ron Savage's same
Reggie should have did something. Reggie should have did
something. Hey, talk that shit, C-Dot. Talk that shit, C-Dot.
I'm just saying anybody. I'm saying anybody. It don't make sense to sit up here and try to place no type of blame on no fucking child. The 16 is a fucking child. I don't give a fuck what y'all talking about. 16 is a child.
Well,
so there's no excuse for no grown person being a fucking predator and convincing no child, man, woman, boy, girl, in between. I don't give a fuck. There's no fucking excuse. Period. And that child is not at fault.
No. Them niggas should know better. They should know better, C-Dot. They should know better than fucking 16.
What was you doing at 16?
They should know better.
What was you doing at 16, Smalls? I'll tell you what I
told you, selling dope.
I'll tell you what
you want to have a conversation?
You coming through with too much. I can't hear you. Say it again.
I said I was selling dope. You want to have the conversation? I know better at 40 fucking 3. Corey, come on, bro.
I was trying to slang.
It's not the same conversation, bro. And Corey, that's why. Wait.
I was slanging this mandibular to them young girls at 16. I wasn't thinking about no dick in my mouth. I was thinking about putting this dick in some of them young ladies. As a matter of fact, I was getting the older hoe. I was talking to older.
Is that what that little, hold on, wait. Is
older
that what he
ones.
said he was thinking about?
Corey,
Man, are you
that doesn't excuse it
are you
though.
saying that for him,
Good,
or is
go
that what he
ahead,
said? Did he say he was thinking about? That's what he went over there for, because that's what he was thinking about, Corey, or is that what you putting on that 16-year-old?
Say what?
Did that 16-year, did Ron, whoever the fuck he is, did he say at 16 he was thinking about going over there to suck that man's dick? That's what he was thinking about. Is that what he said?
When you talk loud like that, your mic crackling, so I can't really.
Did he say?
Yeah.
He was going over there
that's why I had to comment.
to suck that man's penis, because is that what he said? That his intention was to go to Bambatta's house.
Listen,
no, right? Okay, so why are you placing that on that man? Like that's what he went over there to do.
Listen, I'm trying to tell you.
And Corey, wait, before you go on, just to add to what C-Dot's saying, Corey, I finally realized what you're saying, and I agree with you 100%. We're not having the same conversation, bro. Selling dope and sucking dick, I hate even saying that shit. Nigga, that's two different conversations, bro. I'm telling you, like that shit.
When you were 16, you didn't know no better not to put a dick in your mouth. Huh?
All right, you know what?
Corey, can I say something? Can I say something now, please? Can I say something? I've been waiting.
All right, we got
Can I say something? I've been waiting.
Well,
I've been waiting. Corey, can I say something, please? Corey, I totally. Can I say something, please? I totally agree with Corey. At 16, I know dudes get beat up for just association, especially in the 80s. Reggie can tell you, in the Jamaican community in New York, to be branded that way as a punk or a queer, things has changed much since the 80s, you know. But in the 80s, that association alone could be the detrimental to a black boy. And I don't know what Bambatta could have told him. I'm saying that Bambatta is in the wrong, but at 16, you're looking after your baby sister, your baby brother. You have a lot of responsibility. People leave you alone in the house. They're asking you to cook for your family at 16 during that time.
Car that daddy go get his money with every day.
Yeah. Right? So therefore, the question I'm asking, it was in his nature. Him kind of like a gayish. Him kind of like a sweet.
Hey, you wait, CP, you're making absolute statements to all 16-year-olds.
That shit is crazy.
Come on, bro. Like everybody don't like just because you know better, it doesn't mean anyone does.
That's the point. That's the point.
Just because that was your experience.
At 6 years old. No, that's not honest. At 6 years old, children are taking bus on their own. At 6 years old. No, let's look at the progression of children. At 6 years old, children are taking bus on their own.
No, nigga, you taking buses on your own.
All right.
Every 16-year-old doesn't do that.
They live a different life.
Crazy, Small.
What are y'all talking about?
That's what. No. All right. From where I come from. All right. This is it. Let me use it this way. Let me use it this way.
Hold on, CP. Let me talk to him. So, Small, are you telling me that in most communities that 16-year-olds do not travel on their own on public transportation?
I'm not telling you. I'm telling you that
why would you make an argument against that?
So you didn't even let me finish.
That's irrelevant.
I'm telling you that the fucking law says 18 and science says the adult don't occur till you're 25. So none of this shit that y'all you think you're preaching to the choir, you're not. Go ahead.
What world do y'all live in where 16-year-olds don't have responsibility? Y'all not being fucking real.
No, we start saying that this
I'm
shit
not being real
ain't
then.
relevant to what
I'm
we're
not being
talking
real
about.
then.
It's not
Yeah, yeah,
relevant
yeah,
to
yeah.
somebody
Hey,
being a predator.
wait.
Bro, it's
Hey, Chef,
irrelevant, bro. That's
Chef,
like trying to blame. That's
hold
like
on,
trying to blame
hold
a
on.
Nobody's
woman for
blaming
getting
them.
raped.
Nobody's
They
blaming.
Hey, Chef,
responsibility.
You trying to say they're
Chef.
responsible for their own
I have a
abuse.
14-year-old.
Listen,
I have a
he was getting
14-year-old,
locked
a
up.
16-year-old, and an 18-year-old, and they've never caught a fucking bus because I drive them
Talking
around
about
and
nobody catching
they're getting their own
I'm
license.
not
So
talking
what are
about
you even
anybody
talking about?
else.
You making it about a bus.
Yeah, but
In
no, that's the
general,
example.
small.
That's the
In
example that
general,
y'all brought
And
up.
then,
no,
and
but
then
in
You're saying
general,
because a
listen.
nigga can take a
In
bus,
general,
that means he's
Smalls, we're saying,
responsible. That's
Smalls, we're saying
uh,
in general, 16-year-olds catch public
and
transportation by
I'm
themselves.
saying you full of shit. I'm saying you full of shit. So call me out on
Get the
that.
fuck off,
Not the
man.
bus.
listen, do you know my kids got their driver's permit at 15, and then they got
Who
their
gives a
license
fuck?
at
He's
16?
Who
saying
gives a
I'm
fuck?
full of shit for saying that
So you saying they
16-year-olds,
can't take a bus?
right?
Is
Like he sound crazy.
my kids was taking buses to the mall by themselves at 12 and 13. Is you kidding me?
No, you niggas sound crazy because a child can take a bus, and
being
because y'all
taken
talking
off
to
of buses and
yeah. Go
If a
taken
go go,
child
go
can
ahead.
take
Yeah,
public
go ahead.
being
transportation,
kidnapped.
You
there's
niggas sound fucking dumb
no,
to me,
it's
but
no,
y'all
but
go
we're
ahead.
You
saying,
the one
listen,
who brought
hold
up the
on, give me
bus,
1 second.
bro.
Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, y'all, please. If we're saying that a child at 14, 15, and 16 can take public transportation, then
You
we're
saying
saying that that child, right, has a responsibility not to go with no strangers, not to go in no grown people house. You see what
No,
I'm
you're
saying?
saying that he has enough
Not a
sense to not
stranger.
be
I'm
sexually
saying to
molested by a fucking predator.
don't care. I
That's
don't
what you're
care.
Not
saying.
stranger.
Y'all
So
can do
get the
whatever
fuck
the fuck
out of here
y'all
with that
want with
shit.
y'all children.
I'm going
I
on
pray
mute.
to God that God looks out for y'all children because y'all don't make no motherfucking
No,
sense.
Chef, this is what
You
you're
don't make
saying,
no
bro.
motherfucking
You're
sense because
saying
you
that
don't blame that goddamn child for fucking being
because a
molested.
child can get on the bus. Hold on a second.
That's
No,
just
You're saying because a child can get on the bus by themselves,
the
right?
Please
conversation.
They
help me,
are
Logic.
prepared.
His
If they're
argument.
prepared to
Make
deal with adults that
and
be
try
on
to
fuck
make it seem
shit, that
like
don't
he's
make sense,
his
bro.
argument
That
on that.
actually doesn't make sense.
It
No,
makes
Just
like,
sense.
because you can
no,
get on the
it's
bus and
irrelevant.
navigate the city
It's
by
fucking
yourself,
irrelevant.
that don't
It's
mean that
moving
you're
the
prepared to
goalpost.
deal with a fucked
logic,
up adult.
logic,
That doesn't mean that.
logic. You are trying to take that one piece of the conversation, and now we're acting like Sheffrin was basing his argument on the bus ride argument.
No, nigga, that's what
No,
he
that was just
did.
moving the
Don't
goalpost.
blame that on Logic.
That's
All right,
not what
can I
he
finish
did.
speaking now because I
He
got cut
never
off?
even brought up the bus.
I
Sheffrin
brought
never
up the
even
bus.
brought up the bus.
I brought up the bus. Can I finish speaking now because I
Man,
brought up the bus?
wow,
I brought up
nigga.
the bus. When I'm not saying, you know what, we're visualizing that this person was walking on the street and somebody grabbed them, threw them in a van and sexually molest them.
That's not what happened.
That's not what happened. What happened is that a 16-year-old young man was briefed on the dangers of going to a particular place and a particular person. That this person is dangerous. Him kinky, want into the kind of stuff you were told, don't go down there. And the 16-year-old went down there.
Bro,
No,
forgetting
it's
about
too,
the group that these psychos do.
no. Let's look at it. It's two separate
Was he?
situations.
How the fuck did you know that?
It's two
He was
separate
briefed?
situations. So when you're visualizing
Get
it,
the fuck
don't
out of here.
visualizing it like this dude was walking on the street, and a white van pull up and somebody grab him, throw him in the van and molested him. That didn't happen.
It
That
don't
didn't
matter.
happen.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
And that's what you understand is that it doesn't matter.
Listen.
Regardless, if you went over there on
I
his
hope you
own or not,
child-proof your house. I hope everybody in there over 16-year-old, please child-proof your house.
B-Sig was brief. Y'all
If
listen
you
to
have
how
16
fucking
years
dumb
old,
that sounds?
please, if you
B-Sig
have a
was briefed at
16-year-old,
16.
and you still have
So
the
he knew
child, let me
better.
finish. If you have a 16-year-old, let me finish because I was interrupted. If you have a 16-year-old and you still have to child-proof your house, you have a retarded child.
Bro, I was looking for it. I'm just gonna say that flat out, bro. At 16 years old, right? You're a junior in high school. You got one more year. You finna be your ass out at 16. You don't know.
16-year-olds can't be groomed now. Like 16-year-olds can't be groomed. 18-year-olds can't.
When I was in the 7th grade, listen. When I was in the 7th grade, they had a lunch table with the weird kids. Right? It's a bunch of weird niggas over there at that lunch table. Half of them on some gay shit. The other half of them retarded. That's the weird.
When we say people are green, what does that mean?
Over there sitting at the weird table, right? And that's in the 7th grade. I knew not to take my ass over to the weird table because some weird shit liable to happen to me at the weird lunch table, right? So by the time
hey, Logic, I want to know that. What's this being briefed at 16?
What's a green person, yo? Don't they got green adults and green adolescents? What is somebody who's green? Are they responsible?
Green.
I see you using the word responsible. I'm saying like you can't expect a child to be mentally equipped for an experienced pedophile. That doesn't make sense.
Listen, when your mama told you to have them dishes washed before she get off of work, I don't give a fuck how green you was. If them motherfucking dishes wasn't washed, she was gonna whoop your motherfucking ass.
Hey, so you talking about a child versus an experienced pedophile? How can you be prepared for that, bro?
Right. Should the weird kids be molested? Because you weren't part of the weird kids. You didn't get molested. Should the weird kids have been molested?
Let me talk to Logic real quick. Because in Logic's argument, I absolutely have to be excusing the pedophile some kind of way. Which I'm saying for the 1,000th time that ain't no situation where Bambatta was right. He was right. He was wrong way before Ron Savage 16-year-old ass. Right? I done said the nigga should have been buried. Somebody should have put a bullet in his motherfucking head long ago, before Ron Savage even took his ass down there when Reggie them told his ass not to go down there because Reggie was the same age as Ron Savage.
No, I get you. I get you. I get you. So what my comment was, I don't understand how you're making your position and ignoring this other part of what you're saying. Now maybe you could do it, but you ain't explained how y'all could do it yet. But I'm saying maybe you can do it. But I'm trying to figure out. So like, I'm trying to figure out how can a child prepare themselves for an experienced pedophile?
I can't explain myself no more, Logic. If English ain't the lingua franca that gets the point across to you, I don't know what to do for you.
Come on, Corey. Me and you, me and you, we good, bro. Just tell me, how does a child prepare themselves for an experience?
A child don't prepare themselves. A young man
prepare himself.
A young man should have enough responsibility, right, to put a condom on because his mama and them is already telling him how to have sex. At 16,
but they don't. But they don't.
At 16,
but they don't. Which means
Mom ain't teaching them shit. You know that. Mom ain't teaching them shit.
This is crazy.
Me, Logic. Hold on. I'm trying to get my point across to Logic. Me, I talk to my kids at 16 about sex. I made sure my son got condoms and know how to fuck to use them niggas at 16. Because guess what? I was 16 before. And guess what happened when I was 16? I was trying to stick this dick.
Well, look, so I think somewhere in there, are you asking children to have the mentality and the composure and the experience?
Define child.
Look, for me, I can just start. We could just start with inexperience. Let's just start with inexperience.
Oh, define child. I'm
gonna just start with inexperience.
And then
quick, y'all can add and subtract from ever. Yeah, go ahead. You're right, Anathema, because I cut you off a damn near hour ago. But yeah, inexperience has got to come along with being a child for sure.
Y'all taking Reggie's conversation out of context because he knew and grew up with him. So Reggie is setting the whole environment. And one thing that happens in those environments, certain people that you know are more subject, they get more schooling. So he said that he was warned not to go to the Bronx River, but he didn't want to. So and you focus on certain people. How I know this is because you have the gangbanging area where I taught school at, and you have certain students where we throw everything at them, the family, everything. You tell them not to get in the car with them known gang members, and you know what? They still go down to that block and get in out that car. They end up being the innocent one that gets shot. They end up doing something, but people recognize this tendency, and these people do get told. So the people, Reggie said a thing where this man wasn't green. This was known. This went on in the Bronx rivers. Don't go over there by yourself. The man still went against what the community knew about. That's where Corey comes in. Why I agree with Corey, and I'm using the analogy I gave you with the students. The students and the community recognize, everybody knows that if you go over there on 104th and you start hanging out with them guys, you're going to end up putting yourself in a more likelihood to get shot, to join the gang, or get beat up, or get affiliated, or get picked up by the police, get in a stolen G-Ride vehicle. You know this. But then there's some people, they're just curious. They still want to go over there. And you can't, and no matter what you talk to them about, they end up in those situations. And when do you say, well, the 21 years old niggas over there should have told him, go back, you too young, you're not supposed to be on the block. They recruiting him. They want him over there. They have a predatory nature the same way. You can't expect a predator to act rational. That doesn't even make sense. Like,
I don't expect the 16. I don't expect the 16. I'm trying to stay on mute, bro. You just said you don't expect a predator. You just said, hold on. You just said you don't expect a predator. Hold on. Go ahead. You just said the words, I don't, because see, I don't want to hear nothing about frontal cortex no more in this Discord. You literally just said, I don't expect a predator to act rational, but you somehow expect the 16-year-old
act rational.
To act rational.
That's some bullshit.
Y'all on some bullshit. I don't even want to be in the bullshit. I can't even respond to the bullshit.
I said, like, you're almost expecting the child to have the mentality and the composure of an adult.
Shit to try to prove a point.
Frankly, the experience of an adult. We're all familiar with a phrase. We're all familiar with a phrase like, if I knew then what I know now. You would have been a totally different person, bro. You know what I'm saying? If you knew then what you know now, of course you'd have all this experience to draw from. And come on, man, it's just again.
Motherfucker said you told a 16-year-old don't go. I remember as a child, right? My grandmother used to say the terms. My grandmother used to say this all the time. Let me know if your grandmother said this. Don't tell the child don't do the shit. Because that will probably be the exact thing that he does.
Yep. That's what he's going to do.
Because he's fucking stupid. Whether he's 16, whether he's 15. Hold on, bro. I don't want to be cut off, bro. I ain't said nothing in an hour. I just want to, if y'all want to agree, that's fine. If you disagree, just let me land my plane and then cut me when I'm done. When you tell a motherfucker not to go down there, that's probably the one place he's going to go on the entire earth. When you talk to your daughter, don't date that motherfucker over there. He's ignorant. Mm-hmm. He's a drug dealer. He's an asshole. That you just pushing her right into the arms of this motherfucker. They will find their path on the exact chance they take to avoid it. So my point is though, when you say y'all putting a lot of motherfucking y'all giving credit to this to a 16-year-old boy. Y'all keep saying 16-year-old man, 16-year-old boy. Mm-hmm. And that's a lot of 30-year-old boys in this motherfucker too. Come on. So I'm talking about a 16-year-old boy. Hold on. I'm talking about a 16-year-old boy who already, based on his memoir, I was looking at his memoir, that's why I haven't been saying nothing. His memoir, he said he had already been approached multiple times before all of this. And he was trying to get out of the motherfucking situation. Bambatta was a way out of the situation, getting into hip hop, getting into Zulu Nation, whatever. And the motherfuckers that was telling them not to go there was kids. So if a motherfucker ain't listening to his parents and he ain't listening to these drug dealers in Castle Hill. And he ain't gonna listen to the fucking kids telling them not to go. Some of them kids already went. We just don't know. Something already happened to them kids. That's probably why they're telling them. When we talk about, listen, you can't get around. Hold on. You can't. Hold on. You can't get around science. Y'all say sources. Y'all say science. The boy's brain was not fucking developed enough to not do, like, it's simple. It's just that's just the science of it. Now here's the second part.
22-year-old's brain.
See, like no, but like C. Dot said, like
I don't believe that.
Hold on, that's fine. But like C. Dot said also, hold on. But like C. Dot said also, if he had been getting fucked with before this, his brain is even further behind than even some other shit. So now I'm not saying that y'all saying that it's you know, Bambatta's good and all that. That's not what my point is. My point is you remove the responsibility from the victim, bro.
We did.
He's a victim. No matter how you look at him. 16-year-old man, 16-year-old boy, grown up in Castle Hill, this, that, and the other. Just know that in that situation, there was a victim and there was a predator. The victim in no fucking situation, especially at 16 years old, is the person that we should be laying any fault on whatsoever. That's just my
That's not the real world. That's not the real world, though. And that's the problem. Because we don't send out
well, fuck your reality.
It's illegal for now. I had a job and everything at 16.
Yeah, we don't send our children out here at 16 with no responsibility. We just don't do it. We think that
my daddy didn't talk to me about sex. They gave me condoms.
You can most certainly put an expectation on your child, but you can also have the. You can also most certainly have no expectation that he's. You can tell your child at 16 every expectation, everything that you want them to do, this, that, and the other, and you are boo-boo the fucking fool if you think.
No, you're not.
Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying, Chef. Before you go on, because you were Chef. You were 16. If you think you told that, if you telling your son, now you could believe it in your head, right? Since we're talking about reality, that when you tell your son, don't go out there, don't skip school. Do not skip school and be running around with them fast ass girls. Don't be skipping school, running around with them fast ass girls. When that boy
up to skip
is
school
next to the girl, when that boy
run with them fast ass girls,
when that boy is with them fast ass girls, the last thing on the planet he thinking about is you.
Bro, my mind was already made up before my parents
in the conversation. When he in that room, or he's making that decision, this, that, and the other, you're not even in the conversation. We already studied the brain. Hold on. We already studied the brain where the motherfucking at 12, 13, they start listening to outside sources just as much as you. So now this is science. So if y'all telling me that somehow y'all know something more than the shit that's already been studied, then now y'all bugging the fuck out. You don't gotta believe it. I'm not saying that.
Right. I don't believe that shit ain't the gospel.
I don't say you ain't the gospel. What are you talking about? I'm gonna take what you saying over the science.
Hey, Chef Corey, y'all kids know better.
The same niggas that talk about.
I don't give a fuck.
Y'all talk about motherfucking Egypt. Y'all talk about listening to sources. When we talk about prefrontal cortex, now it ain't the gospel.
Ain't no such thing.
You motherfuckers say Bitterman was black.
Ain't no such
thing. The goddamn Egyptologist told you. But I can't tell you that the prefrontal cortex wasn't developed. So y'all picking and choosing when y'all use science? Is that what this is?
No,
you ignoring science to win a argument?
Hey, Chef Corey, I'm gonna send my kids to y'all. Y'all
ignoring science to win an argument?
I'm ignoring you.
You're ignoring science. They said prefrontal. Science says that it's prefrontal cortex, not me.
I'm
The
arguing
science
against
says that
you using
the
that
science
bullshit.
says that
I
their
won't be
prefrontal
driving in
cortex.
the
Hold on, wait, hold
I'm
on.
arguing against
Hey,
you
hey,
using
Corey, I heard you. Hey,
The law
hey,
says
I hear you, Corey. I'm gonna send him your way.
hold on, Smalls. The law says, as you arguing with me, but I'm telling you that the law
using that
says
weak
at
ass
16.
argument.
That, no, I'm telling you, forget you arguing with me. That's fine. I'm telling you, you arguing with the law that says no 16
The
can
law
enter.
is here to protect
And the
us.
law
Listen,
says you cannot enter a sexual consensual relationship at
bro,
16 with no adult. The motherfucking
the law
science
is
says
here to
prefrontal
protect
cortex.
us.
That's not me. That's not
Bro,
me. And I ain't
listen,
having. You can do that if I know what you're
I
trying
don't
to
the
do.
think
law
nobody
is here to
That's the
protect us.
Baltimore
How
shit.
we raise our
Go ahead.
kids
Go ahead
is
and
a
do the
completely
Baltimore thing. No, the
no.
law ain't here
How
for
we
us.
raise our
You guys
kids is
arguing that though.
completely different.
y'all
How we
crazy
raise
as
our
hell,
kids
man.
is completely different.
Nah, the
You
prefrontal
telling
cortex.
me,
No.
y'all
Tell
will
us that
sit
the
here
prefrontal
and
cortex
tell
is wrong.
me
I
that
never
your
even
Tell
thought
brother
them
about
that.
the
No.
prefrontal
Stay
cortex.
on the
at
fact that the
16-year-old,
prefrontal cortex is wrong.
y'all
Say that.
telling
Say
me
that
at
science is
16
wrong.
years
Say
old,
the
I ain't never
science
even
is
your
thought
wrong.
about
parent
that.
was
Think about
sitting there telling
No, you
y'all,
say no.
y'all
that.
can't
Don't
make
16
say
year
that
old
up
rational
boy.
yet. The
decisions because
prefrontal cortex
your
science is
prefrontal
wrong, correct?
cortex wasn't fucking developed.
So you're saying it's
Out of
wrong.
here.
No, you're saying it's
Chef,
wrong.
I
You
wanna
from the
respond
barber
to Chef
chair.
too.
Yeah, y'all tripping.
So the
Hey
nigga, so
Chef.
you from a barber chair selling the
Y'all
science is that his
bullshitting.
cortex was
Y'all
developed.
bullshitting in this
Yeah,
conversation.
yeah, you
Y'all
bullshitting. You full of
bullshitting.
Chef.
shit.
I don't
Y'all
know
Chef.
what y'all
no,
was
you
doing
full of shit.
at
Fucking
16
Hey
years
pre-front.
old.
Chef.
I'm
Because
gonna
at
listen to
16
you
years
over
I
the
old,
wasn't no
fucking.
at
50.
16 years
I wasn't
old,
no
Man,
50.
get the fuck out
what?
of here.
Why at
Hey
16
Chef.
years
Y'all
old did
niggas
you
is
know
now,
better?
I'm down the street from calling y'all nigga nasty. Now that's where
How
we
Hey
the
at.
fuck?
Chef.
At
You niggas
16
is
years
now
old,
you about to be nasty
how
as
did
fuck.
you know better than
You
Brad?
not you about to be nasty than a motherfucker in 2
Brad, I
seconds,
don't
bro.
give a fuck about none of that.
No,
Listen,
we all know you
at,
don't give a fuck.
at
That's why you'll just
16
say the
years
wildest
old,
shit.
at 16 years old, how did you know better with your prefrontal cortex not closed?
We're not talking about me.
Yes, we is,
Yes.
nigga.
We're not talking
Don't
about me.
try
We
me
talking
that
about no. We're not
shit.
talking about me. We're
Yes,
not
we
talking
So
about
are.
me.
there's
Nigga, yes,
a
we
We're
couple
not
are.
talking
things.
about me. We're
Nigga,
not
But
talking
I'm
hey
about
talking
me.
Chef.
about
We're not
y'all.
talking about
I'm
what you
talking
would have
about
did.
y'all.
We're
Yeah.
not
Come
talking
Hey
on,
I'm
about
y'all.
if
Chef.
talking
hey,
about
Y'all,
y'all.
y'all,
hey, because if
please.
you want to
Come
have
Hey,
a
on.
real
let's go back,
conversation,
brothers.
chef.
I'm
Hey, chef.
talking about
No,
No. Hey,
don't have a
chef.
real
Since
conversation.
we having a real
No.
conversation, chef.
Trash.
Listen to
Okay.
this. It's 1, 2, 3. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's 13 men in here. Nobody in this motherfucker is going to admit, no one is going to say, other than I guess Ron Savage, that at 16 something might have happened to them. So we don't know what you motherfuckers would have done in that same situation because the only one that admitted to it was Ron Savage. He the only motherfucker that's been molested.
It's a lot of niggas that admitted to that.
Ain't nobody. I said in here. No one in here is going to have that conversation. So when we keep talking about what you would do and what your situation is, and it wouldn't have
No,
happened
I'm
to
talking
you.
about your situation.
No.
Not mine.
No.
At 16,
Of course you're not going to talk about you. Of
at
course.
16, I'm telling
Of
you,
course you're not going to talk about you.
at
Of course.
16, it was
I
something
fully
wrong with
expect
y'all
you not to talk
prefrontal
about you.
cortex. No, at
I don't
16,
know what
y'all
that
saying it was
was.
something wrong with y'all
No,
prefrontal
I'm
cortex.
saying there's something wrong
No,
with
no, you
every
At 16,
16-year-old
Chef, you
your
human's
prefrontal
misconstruing.
prefrontal
cortex
Chef,
cortex.
wasn't fucking
Chef,
I'm
you're
saying it's
misconstruing it.
at
every
Chef,
16-year-old,
I'm
Chef,
saying
not
at
me.
16,
Chef, you're
No,
my
it's
misconstruing it.
prefrontal
every
cortex
16-year-old. You
wasn't
Chef,
crashing out.
misfiring.
you're
You crashing
misconstruing it,
out,
Chef.
bro.
Chef,
Y'all
you're misconstruing.
prefrontal cortex
You
was
No,
still
Chef,
crashing
misfiring at
out. You
16.
Chef.
know, you just to prove
Mine
to
wasn't.
prove an argument, you
Hey,
crashing
Chef,
out, bro. You
Chef, you're
crashing
Mine
out.
wasn't.
misconstruing.
Mine wasn't
No.
misfiring at
No,
16.
you
That's the
crashing out,
thing.
brother.
That's the thing, Chef. You're misconstruing what's been said. Now, what you're revealing
And
and what
y'all didn't
Corey
do
is
that.
revealing is that y'all family structure actually did something right, particularly for y'all. Subjectively, what y'all experienced, the information that y'all got in y'all family culture, cultivated a more healthier brain development in y'all. So y'all was able to make more conscientious decisions to help you navigate your environment. Not about responsibility, or is it about intellect? It's about all of the things that go into your brain being a little bit more healthier. Cannot generalize that to every black 16-year-old black male, 15-year-old black male, 14-year-old black male in your community. That's where I think you and Corey may have kind of a misalignment. How y'all understand the development of young black males? You're adultifying them by saying that at 16 they supposed to be making conscientious decisions of a man right away, and they should know how to navigate every situation. All black males should be
No, as
doing
a
that.
child.
And if that was the case, wouldn't always jump on the premises that something is wrong with us if we was that healthy and we was that functional.
Mujasi.
Obviously, there's some things that are complicated in our community that does not allow our brains to develop in a healthy way. And so when Brass is talking about that prefrontal cortex, he's talking about a whole neurological makeup that can get hampered based on our lack of nutrition, trauma in our life, our stress, inability to feel safe and secure, or even healthy relationships, our own family. All of that impacts whether or not certain parts of the brain are developed. And when that's delayed, you could be staring at a 16-year-old boy, but he operates on a 7, 8-year-old cognitive level, emotional level, and conscience level. So you, brother, I really encourage you to do a little bit of research into just a basic research and basic brain development so you can understand the dynamics of why this conversation is a lot more difficult than what it is. But your experience, valid for you. Corey's experience, valid for him. But don't generalize that to every 16-year-old black male in the hood. And I'll land there.
The law treats.
Before you, Nassima, appreciate you. Appreciate you.
The law treats children as inherently vulnerable and unable to understand the long-term consequences of sexual acts, especially when power, fame, or trust are involved. So even if a child appears willing, it's still statutory sexual abuse or child molestation by definition. That's legal. Psychologically, children and teens have undeveloped prefrontal cortices, which means they are more impulsive. They struggle to judge risk, manipulation, and long-term harm, and they trust authority figures, especially those who offer attention or validation. Predators exploit those traits, groom victims slowly until the boundaries blur. That's why society places the full responsibility on the adult in the situation. So in his particular case, he admits that he's already been approached numerous times before that. Fucking Reggie already agreed that he grew up in fucking Sodom and Gomorrah. Castle Hill was a fucking food desert. It was a breeding ground that wasn't going to stop something like a kid saying, hey, don't go down there. That meant nothing compared to all the other shit that he had going on. Nothing.
Can I tuck a little bit under that? And yes, I want to tuck something in under that. If you want to use age as a way to determine a child's ability to think and navigate his environment, you're always going to grow wrong. Go ahead, brother. I'm sorry.
I just wanted to add in a story because, like I said,
Yes,
all my family, my mother's side of the family is all from Bronx River Projects, specifically. And a friend of mine, the reason I even knew about what happened or whatever with Bambatta, I found out shortly before, you know what I'm saying, everything blew up about the type of dude that Bambatta was, because I always praised the dude. Like, yo, he was one of the staples in Bronx River Projects. Like, he literally brought, like, my uncles used to be spades. They used to be gang members. And they stopped gangbanging because of Bambatta. So I had a partner of mine, a little bit older than me, that told me about his situation with Bambatta. He was invited over there on some music shit. Like, yo, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna try to see what's up and see if you got some bars, this, that, and the third. My fam go over there, homie go over there, thinking that's what it was on. And he said the nigga Bambatta try him. Now, he was young at the time. You know what I mean? He didn't go for it. He was automatically like, hell no. You know what I'm saying? And was trying to get his way up out of there. But he was telling me about, like, why he ain't say nothing when the nigga tried him. And I had to think about that, like, yo, yeah, yeah, because Bambatta respected. Like, look at what happened to Hassan Campbell. You know what I'm saying? When he came out with his situation. Most folks roasted that dude. You know what I'm saying? And Hassan Campbell was a G. He was respected in Bronx River. He got bodies the whole night. The definition of go out there and get it in was Hassan Campbell, and people respected him like that in Bronx River back in the day. A lot of people did. I know a lot of people that beefed with him also, that couldn't stand him and hated his guts. But when he came out with that story, it verified and validified what my partner was already telling me. Because like I said, all I had was what he was telling me happened to him. So I'm like, nah, damn, bro, that's crazy. But then other stories started developing. It's like, oh, well, no. It's some truth to this. It gotta be some truth to this. Because of the fact that he was just so well respected, not only loved, but also feared in Bronx River. Not only just Bronx River, but in the whole Bronx, Bronx, in the whole Bronx, whatever you call this, borough.
Borough, yeah.
So, yeah, so it's like, that's why I kind of, you know what I'm saying? It brought me out to say, like, yo, Chef, what you saying is crazy as shit, because I knew thorough people that mess with Bambatta just because of the fact that they was on some, oh, well, yeah, I'm going to be able to get out the hood messing with dude. Oh, this is going to put me where I need to be in the music game messing with dude,
Right
and this,
there.
that, and the third. They didn't go over there thinking, oh, well, yeah, I'm going to go over here to go get molested, or I'm going to go over here to, you know what I mean, suck this nigga off. None of that type of weirdo shit. Like, that wasn't their mindset. That's what he was on. So for me to say that, like I said, even if you want to say, dude, the 16-year-old dude, Ron or whatever his name was, if you want to say he knew better than to partake in it, to be a subject of it, then I would agree with you on my, like, from my point of view. But I can't tell you what that nigga was going through. What he felt like, oh, well, shit, maybe if I, like, 16 years old, bro, we talking about a kid. We're not talking about no grown man. We're not talking about nobody who done experienced life. We're talking about a 16-year-old. So I'm not gonna hold that against no 16-year-old. I'm gonna hold that against the adult that was the predator that went out of his way to get young kids over there, and the way that he did it was through his reputation and what he did in the music game. Everybody respected him. Like I said, even me, and I'm not from there. I'm from Georgia. I was born and raised in Georgia. But I still had hella respect for Bambatta and the Zulu Nation because of what my family always told me about them growing up.
I just want to add, I want to add something to this conversation. Like, I'm listening to everybody. And I'm not trying to come off like I'm the authority on the situation, but I am the only one in here that was a fucking member for like 37 years. So I think I got a little bit more insight than a lot of people got. And I've tried telling people a lot of this shit, and there's a lot of people who don't believe. So this whole shit. That's why I started when he brought up polite earlier. I was going somewhere with the polite thing, trying to give you all an alley-oop, but it deterred because everybody jumped in the conversation and started talking. In this situation of this pedophilia, number one, the only people that's come out publicly that people have seen by face is Hassan and Ronald. John Doe, I know John Doe. John Doe's the one who won the case in court, and Bambatta is now is classified as a pedophile. Unfortunately, Zulu Nation did not get registered as a pedophile organization. That's a whole nother subject. I can tell you that I know many people, and there's a person that Reggie mentioned when he was talking about people from Castle Hill and shit. There's a person he mentioned. There was two people he mentioned that I know. And one of those people, or one of the people that came out with John Doe saying that they were molested by Bambatta. And this dude is like in his 50s. He's like Reggie's age. Number one, when I look at the shit, where was the fucking parents? Number
They
two,
wasn't told, bro.
There was lack of parentalship, right? There was an issue evidently in the community. So now we're talking a communal issue, a social issue. And number three, Brass is totally 100% right. Listen, I don't like Ron Savage. Ron Savage recanted everything he fucking said and totally went against the grain for $1. And that's just the facts. And I have the audio to prove where he was bribed $50,000. So if it didn't happen, then why were you being bribed? And also in that same phone call, it was Biggs, and it was somebody else. The other person in the original copy, it was this other person. I can't think of his name. And Bambatta was on the call. But the audio you'll hear is Biggs from Soul Sonic Force and Ronald Savage. So why are you being offered $50,000? Why are you being told by Mickey Benzo, who used to be the manager for Fat Joe? Mickey Benzo, who was the manager for Ice-T. Mickey Benzo I've met. Mickey Benzo, who was a correctional officer at Rikers. Mickey Benzo that was on the Breakfast Club after this audio of him was leaked, was on the Breakfast Club admitting that he was a corrupt correctional officer in Rikers Island that used to beat inmates and was fired. So he's telling you his character for anybody who's never met Mickey Bozo. Mickey Benzo is on record, on audio, saying to Ron Savage, who then states he was never molested, who turns around and says, why are you doing this to the brand? Why are you doing this to our legacy? This shit happened because you have individuals that they themselves were molested by Bambatta. Number two, you had individuals, one hand washes the other. Oh, this motherfucker here, he likes to suck boy dick and he likes little boys. But guess what? Bam knows that I got some bodies. Bam knows that I got some armed robberies. Bam knows that, yeah, he was going after little boys, but I was going after little girls. One hand washes the other. Then you have the fact of individuals that were just scared to say anything because of their life. John Doe, one of them. John Doe, who lost his relationship over this shit, his marriage. You know, people lost it. Like my friendships have ended over this because of the position I took. Because when I found out, the day I found out that Lance Taylor was homosexual, guess who was at the Universal meeting giving a dissertation? Reggie. It was at that Universal, May 2015, that I found out officially he was gay. I didn't know he was a pedophile yet. The next month, June of 2015, all the way to November, I'm finding out from Black Spades. I'm finding out from people in the industry, the rap industry. I'm finding out from that he's a fucking pedophile. And all this shit start making sense. It all starts coming together. Why was there no green light when he was stabbed? And who stabbed him? And why did they stab him? And when they stabbed him, they didn't stab the second founder of Zulu, Ahmed Henderson. Why was there no green light given? Why was it the day he was stabbed, 3 days later, because that was a Sunday, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the meeting, our first and last Wednesday in the month meeting, Bambatta is there Ahmed Henderson is there with an arm sling. And you didn't even call for a private meeting. It was an open meeting, and it was a meeting that the founder, this man that some of y'all made fun of and say, oh, you bodyguarded him, that motherfucker who I put my life on the line defending, that motherfucker did not even address why the fuck he was stabbed and what happened. It wasn't talked about. And it was Ahmed Henderson that towards the end was trying to tell me what happened. And I do know that they were stabbed. But guess what? It was Ahmed Henderson telling me that they were stabbed, that it was Ahmed Henderson that is documented, that he stated that Lance Taylor was not stabbed, that he had chest pains. And how could he have got stabbed if he performed at Radio City Music Hall after the stabbing, which I think was like a Monday or Tuesday? It's true. You could get stabbed and go to I got stabbed in my leg. I got 26 stitches in my leg when I got stabbed. And I came out the same day from being stabbed with a bar in my leg. So just because you get stabbed doesn't mean you can't go home that same day. So there's a cover-up. There's a definite cover-up. Yeah. So now with this cover-up, again, Ron Savage, if you've ever met Ron Savage, it doesn't take you to be a psychiatrist or a therapist to know there's something wrong with him. There is something definitely wrong with him. He's definitely off. The elevator does not go all the way to the top. Now, could that have been because of what happened to him? Could it be also that his sister, whose boyfriend at the time was a Zulu? Could it be also that the boyfriend, Bambatta made Ron Savage suck the boyfriend off. You understand? It wasn't just towards with Lance Taylor, it was other people. Like, this shit is disgusting, right?
There was a lot of people.
And this, and so it's a thing of like this subject. It's like you got people who blame the victims of Dr. York, who blame but you, Tariq Noel, but you, Nikki, but you. Okay, like this is what we're gonna do. So in other words, if a woman goes out and she's wearing something provocative, that means that because she wore something provocative, she should therefore say, well, if I get raped, it's my fault. It's my fault. If I go out and I have on a 28 karat gold necklace, that means shit. You got the right to rob me. No. You should proceed with caution. You should watch your surroundings. You should be observant. You shouldn't be fucking retarded. But at the same time, you have to understand too that you don't know what these people went through when they were younger than that. So that means if they went through something younger than that, then that means that they suffer from Stockholm syndrome. And if they suffer from Stockholm syndrome and they keep going back to this person, it's because they don't feel love. They don't feel love. They don't feel nobody wants them. They don't feel worthy. So they're going to go to the person that makes them feel great. So if you make me feel great, but that also means by you making me feel great and you telling me, oh man, you're a good kid. Oh man, let's go get some ice cream. But guess what? You got to suck my dick. They're going to fucking do it because they don't feel loved. They don't feel appreciated. They're victimized. They don't know what the fuck is going on and they're confused as a motherfucker. Every single person I know who has been molested, it is the same story. I would say over 90% of the women I've been with have been molested, and it's the same story. And some of them begin to even sometimes suffer from being confused sexually. Whether do they like women, or do they like both, or do they like God? I don't know what the fuck I like. And it's a traumatic thing. It's traumatic. This isn't some easy fucking thing. This is a very complicated, intricate subject that is detrimental, is horrible, and it's something that should be empathized and sympathized. Like, this is fucking crazy. Like, fuck Ron Savage, but at the same time, the shit shouldn't happen to him. I don't agree with everything I don't agree with a lot of stuff Hassan Campbell says, but that doesn't mean that should have happened to him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's probably people, I don't know, that we all may know that we just don't know the personal shit, what could have been what. That we probably like, yo, fuck that person, they a scumbag, but did they deserve to have this done to them? Like, is that cool? Like, have you guys watched Ronald Savage's live videos? Again, it doesn't take you to be a psychiatrist or a therapist. Watch his live videos and you tell me if he's sane. He doesn't need to be on camera. He's fucking
Cuban.
crazy.
Cuban. I don't even know who the dude is, but I can tell by everybody who was affected by dude, they all have some type of mental issue. Like it's and that's what I'm saying. That's the thing about a predator. A predator will find the ones that have that issue. But also the thing that made Bambatta so different is the power that he held in the Bronx. That's what kept the secret for so long. Is that power and that fear that he installed in the majority of people, not even just him, not saying that him, but the idea of Bambatta and his whole crew and everything. That idea always kept a fear in the back of these individuals' minds. Like I said with my homeboy, that was his reason for not saying nothing to his parents. Was because he was like, oh, hell no. You know what I'm saying? Them niggas came and, nah, bro, we can't have that. So I'm like, nah, what you mean? Like, you bro, nah, hell no. I'll be damned if a dude come at me. Like, for one, we would have been fighting. There wouldn't have been no, you know what I'm saying? None of that other stuff. But I had to understand, like, I don't live in Bronx River, so I ain't got to come outside every day. But I remember what it feels like to come outside in Bronx River every day.
If you recall the video where me and Inky was on 125th and he starts clowning me about my Zulu Nation tattoo that I used to have on my left hand before I tattooed that bitch over. Everybody said, "Why were you quiet? Why were you quiet?" Because around that time is when I was finding out about the pedophilia. So why would I say something? I wouldn't say nothing because it's the same piece of shit channel with people that I'm telling you, your motherfucking master teacher is a child molester, your Dr. Pork. And y'all sit up here and support him. And you think that you're going to believe this spit Cuban? And I'm going to turn around and tell you that Africa Bambatta, who's considered the second founder of hip hop, a founder of an international global hip hop organization that preserves the culture of hip hop, is a child molester. And you can't believe that this same dude that's on video saying pleading guilty is guilty. So I had to suck that shit up. And not only I had to suck that shit up, I had to also be aware of my surroundings at that time because where I was living. Because they may not have been powerful like they were in the 80s and the 70s and the early 90s up to the mid 90s. But trust and believe me, you have people in there to this day that will get you that will kill you.
That will get you. You're right.
TC hold on. TC Islam was killed. My brother TC was killed in 2017 in Georgia. What?
Yo, Stupid, we can't hear you. You have to fix up your mic. So let me say something. Because I think there's a problem going on. There's still a mix up.
Talk to somebody.
Because I don't think. All right, go on, Stupid.
No, I wasn't done. I was just gonna make a last point. My brother was killed. TC Islam was killed in June of 2015 in Georgia, in Atlanta. Right? They caught the two killers. But guess what also happened with the police department? When myself and some other people contacted them to say you might want to go dig a little deeper, guess how they looked at it? We got the shooters, which they did get the shooters. But the question is, what was behind the shooting? Because it's just so interesting that at that time, there was 3 individuals of top position that happened to live in Georgia. It just so happens that prior to that, when he was living on Crescent Avenue in the Bronx, he was fleeing through the city, state to state to state to state to state. Why? Because he said some shit. And because he knew too much shit. And then he just mysteriously dies. That's all I want to say.